Dynasty Radio, 1382.
We gotta bless this function before we get things jumping off. Invoking our ancestors and all the great loved ones we love. Fill up my cup, yeah. Gonna pour out some liquor and call on the great ones for them to be with us. We got the spirit so high, it's a celebration. You got me feeling so nice when we pour libation. I go, I'm in. I go, I'm in. I'll call them out. In hotel, call them out. Queen Todd, call them out. Malcolm X, call them out. Say it with pride, with your force. That's my Ashe. Can I proceed? Open the way. To tell the truth. Ashe. Martin King. Ashe. Harriet Tubman. Ashe. And Drew Ali. Ashe. We respect your knowledge and we seek your wisdom. We invoke your presence to protect and guide. We got the spirit so high in this celebration. And you can feel those good vibes when we pour libation. Pour out a little liquor for the homies. We honor only the real G's, not phony. If you don't know the culture, you would think it was baloney. But I can feel the spirit vibrating all on me. Open the way to the spirit world. Then we communicate with the ones we love and take advice from the wise ones. And then I say I share, so let it be done. And you're the evolution of your lineage. All my ancestors live within me ever present. Talent and creator as the source of all my blessings. I let it be known, on me I don't walk alone. No, we really need your advice in this situation. We're gonna call on your light when we pour libation. We got the spirit so high, can you feel it? Can you feel those good vibes when we pour libation? I go, I'm in. I go, I'm in. I'll call them out. In hotel, call them out. Queen Todd, call them out. Malcolm X, call them out. Say it with pride, with your force. That's my Ashe. Can I proceed? Open the way. To tell the truth. Ashe. Martin King. Ashe. Harriet Tubman. Ashe. And Drew Ali. Ashe. Ashe.
Rosa Parks,
Ashe. Mamba. Ashe.
Queen Amina,
Ashe. Ashe.
Queen Medina,
Ashe. Michael Jackson. Ashe.
Bob Marley,
Ashe. MC Trouble. Ashe.
Marcus Garvey,
Ashe. King Selassie. Ashe.
Peter Tosh,
Ashe. Ashe.
Kwame Nkrumah,
Ashe. Obasanjo. Ashe.
Stanley Kuti,
Ashe. Lester Musa. Ashe.
John Coltrane,
Ashe. Jimmy Young. Ashe. Ashe.
Bernard True,
Ashe. Sai Baba. Ashe. Ashe.
Akhenaten,
Ashe. Dr. Ando. Ashe. Ashe.
John Henrik Clark,
Ashe. 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 Ashe.
Dynasty Radio, 1382.
Everybody has a Facebook. Everybody, my mama has a Facebook. Your daddy has a Facebook. My auntie has a Facebook. My dog has a Facebook. Your church advertise on Facebook. Y'all sell chicken flakes on Facebook. Your pictures up on Facebook. Looking fly, you know that ain't how you look on Facebook. Your life stories on Facebook. Your chicken grease on Facebook. Your graduation on Facebook. Just because you took the gown don't mean you graduated. Come on, everybody has a Facebook. 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 You know that ain't how you really look. Everybody has a Facebook. This lady had a baby on Facebook. This man got shot on Facebook. Somebody got saved on Facebook. Ain't mad at you if that's real. Everybody has a Facebook. Everybody has a Facebook. Everybody has a Facebook. Come on, man. You know you got a Facebook. This girl met her daddy on Facebook. He was trying to explain why he took so long. Daddy, you should have just called my phone. You just got a computer and now you want me to come home. on Facebook. I met the person on Facebook. You met a person on Facebook. I didn't really know him. It's just a friend suggestion, and I took it. I mean, it's confirmed. So, you know, then I found out a stalker was on Facebook. And then they started stalking me on Facebook. Oh, Lord. This girl called me on Facebook. Okay, listen. Hey, everybody has a Facebook. I know everybody has a Facebook. If you got a computer, you have a Facebook. If you don't got a computer, you don't have a social life, because Facebook is the new social life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Listen. Everybody has a Facebook. I ain't finished. Your wedding was on Facebook. Your status changed on Facebook. 3 weeks later, you was on Facebook. Then you were single again. Oh, God, really? Your girlfriend was on Facebook.
All right. Hey, my family. Peace, one love, shalom, hotep, and harambe. I hope you all didn't hear me fussing a few minutes ago while the music was playing, because I was fussing. I don't know what's going on. Well, Dr. Bay told me what was going on, but I could not get neither one of my phones to actually allow me to dial into the show. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I mean, my stuff was just jumping all over the place. But Dr. Yaffa told me earlier what's happening with the mercury. But I'm telling you, it's affecting your girl stuff over here, and I don't like it. So anyway, welcome to Wake the Hell Up Wednesday. And this is your girl, T. Makia Zariah, affectionately known as Empress T. Haven't heard from me in a while, have you? And, of course, I haven't talked to you all in a while, but we are here tonight. People are got things going on. People are doing things. And so, you know, that's why we're sporadically doing these shows now. But we have not forgotten you. It's just that we got things to do. We have, you know, other things, lives and things to take care of. So anyway, I do welcome you to the show, and to just let you know that this is a live call-in show, and if you want to call in a little bit later, and hopefully we can get to your phone calls, the number is 646-716-7572, and do not forget that you do have to press the number 1. I am not sure if Kenya will be joining us tonight. She's not feeling well, but she probably pop in later. I don't know, but if she does or she doesn't, we're sending her out some energy, some high energy, so she can get back up on her feet and get back over here with us. But my other sister is here, faithful, and like clockwork, she is here. And so everybody say hello to Dr. Yaffa Bay. Hey, Dr. Yaffa.
What's up, C-Star? Harambe. Hi, listeners. Thank you all for joining us this evening. What's going on, C-Star? How you doing?
Harambe. I told you, sis,
Hey.
It took me 10 minutes to call in. I could not believe it. 10 minutes. Well, I'm exaggerating. Maybe 6. But still, my phone was all over the place, both of my phones. I'm like, what is going on? But we're here now, and we got a couple of hours to kick it with y'all. And, you didn't give the date. What's today? October the 29th.
Today's Wednesday, October 29th in the year 2014.
All day, every day. And on November the 2nd, I believe is that next week, or Sunday coming up? Yeah? I don't know. November the 2nd, the time changes. So, you know, we out here in the AZ, our time don't change, but we want to be nice to remind you that your time is changing, so make sure you get your clocks together and you don't miss out on anything, not just the shows, but anything else that's happening in your life. Make sure you take care of that, okay? We're going to be talking about several things tonight, and I know that we usually, when we do these shows, we talk about all the news and stuff that's happening in the so-called world, the so-called news. But we're going to be doing things a little different tonight. We're going to have Dr. Yaffa going to break some things down to us because, you know, we already know that, you know, people are killing their loved ones and raping their babies, and we know that. We see it all the time on, you know, people talking about it, and it's something that we really don't want to bring to y'all tonight. We want to take this a different way, you know, change the energy a little bit and bring you some information that can help you, you know, if you want to be helped. I mean, if you want information, it's there. If you don't, you do what you want to do with it. But as always, Dr. Yaffa is very thorough about breaking things down. Now, she actually, I had already had this on my mind to do, and I'm speaking of DNA. I already had this on my mind to do several years ago. Actually, the DNA, I didn't know too much about that, but doing my family tree and trying to locate, my people and stuff like that several years ago. And then I got this idea that I'm going to tell you all about a little bit later. I am going to give you my website because I have taken this DNA family tree thing to another level, and I want you all to go check it out. But when Dr. Yaffa started talking to me about the DNA and things like that, and I'm like, first I was kind of dragging my tail, I ain't going to lie, dragged it a little bit, but she kept talking. And I'm like, let me just get this done. So we want to talk to you tonight about several different things, but it's going to be based on it's going to be surrounding talking about DNA and talking about, I don't want to give it away. I'm going to let her bring it to you. I just want you all to get some paper, pen, so you can take notes because there's going to be some very needed information here tonight. I've had mine done, and I actually been posting different pictures and things on Facebook, and somebody had nerve to tell me that I need to stop. I need to be proud to be black. I need to be proud to be a color, is what she told me. Be proud to be black. Don't be trying to be anything else. And my thing is, I'm only who I am. I mean, shit, it's not up to me who I am, who put blood in me, or who put DNA in me. That wasn't my choice. I wasn't there for that particular picking, if you will. So anyway, that's what she told me, and but we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the DNA stuff. Dr. Yaffa, I don't know where you want to jump in here, and I'm just talking right now, but where do you want to start with this whole thing out here, because now it's a trend. Everybody is talking about looking for their family members. Everybody's talking about doing their DNA, not everybody, but a lot of people are talking about doing their DNA testing and looking for their family tree and things like that. I know there was some stuff that you want to discuss with the family concerning that or pertaining to that. So where do you want to start, my sister?
Wow, now that's one wing-ding of an inquiry there. Where do I want to start? You almost always have to begin at the beginning. But, I was trying to tailor this particular episode in as much as, now I was working, keep in mind, I've been on the road, I'm very fatigued, and I'm trying to stay alert and keep up. And this phone, it seems like it's been blowing up, and I was trying to get this, putting a post on my website as we speak, and it's not going to be complete, but I have to start with this just so that we can have something to start with, because I want you guys to be able to look at something. Now, it's not there yet. Just give me a second to upload it. But there's a lot of talk about, are you niggas always trying to take somebody else's nationality, identity, and culture? Now, my listeners that are all caught up, this is not news to them. This is not going to throw them out the box because they already know who they are. They've done their due diligence. They're not really trying to hear what these other crazy people have to say about who they are because they know who they are, and nobody can tell them anything different or otherwise. But right. This post, I don't even know if I'm going to leave it up or if it's just going to be up here just for tonight and for the people that are here, because I would have to leave it up incomplete until I get an opportunity to get around to fixing it and or resolving it. So we have people saying, y'all ain't no damn Americans. Y'all ain't no damn Americans. Y'all from Africa. Be proud of Africa. Be proud that you're black. First of all, nobody can have any shame about what you currently identify as Africa to your goddamn big-ass skull. There's nothing to be ashamed of Africa about. But that's like saying, when my people say things like, well, we're not African, and people turn around and say shit like, you're ashamed of Africa. If I sit up here and say I'm not a Viking, does that make me ashamed of being a Viking if I'm not one? Now, granted, a lot of people especially in the Americas, particularly those whose so-called families have been around for a while, do fall into what they call mixed ancestry, okay? So I want you guys to go to my website real quickly at yaffabay.com. Log in to Y like yellow, A, F, F, A, B like Baker, E, Y. And I don't know if I'm going to put this in on Facebook or not. I just don't know, because right now I got so much to do that I don't know how much I can get into creating this particular post. For people that are getting their little dossiers, I'm definitely putting this type of stuff in the dossier. But the last thing, if you look on the right at yaffabay.com, again, that's Y-A-F-F-A, and that's F like Friday, B like Baker, E-Y.com, yaffabay.com. At my website, it'll bring you to the home page. It should be American Autochtons, come here to get clarity. On the right, it'll say recent posts. Click on the post that says Shunned Americans, or Shunned Americans, my bad. Under Shunned Americans, I only had an opportunity to throw up 4 photos. There's no article, there's no text, there's no writing. Now, the very top of this picture, you should see a post come up, and it'll show 4 pictures. 3 of them are paintings or portraits, and 1 of them is a photograph. The portrait at the top is from the year 1798, and it is called An Emblem of America. Now, at the top of this photo with this emblem of America, you see an autochthonous American, copper-colored, and according to Dr. Huxley, who back in the day was a champion of so-called Indians, out of the Ancient and Modern Briton, Briton book, it's a book, 2 volumes, and I don't recall which volume, written by a so-called white guy, which, unless you're colorblind, these people are not so-called white. The thing that I look at and identify as so-called white, I have never seen anyone with this alabaster-colored so-called white-looking skin yet. And if I do, I would probably think I'm looking at a ghost. But most of the people that are currently identified as white are some various shade of called American Indians, red back in the day. According to the book Ancient and Modern Briton, Dr. Huxley said by red they meant chocolate brown in color. Okay? Now, at the top of this Shunned at Home flyer, there is a copper-colored or chocolate brown in color, autochthonous American with their bow and arrow standing up here on what a picture called An Emblem of America from the year 1798. If you look to the lower left or center left, there's an actual photograph. This photograph is a picture of the American Pima Indians of Arizona in 1904. Now, I don't know, when you go to bring up these modern-day pictures of the so-called damn Indians, you bring up all this other crazy stuff of all these foreign-ass people telling you that you're not at home, because most of our people are not aware of the fact that the American Indians, so-called Indians, have been Africanized, and the foreign Europeans have been Indianized or American Indianized. So they traded places yet again. When you do your due diligence, you will find it. Now, granted, it is not a well-known fact that it is our ancestors or Ankh-esters that these people found here when they showed up, but it is an extremely well-documented and well-established one. It is let me say it again, it is a well-documented, well-established fact that all they found in the Americas were copper-colored, chocolate-brown races of people that when they showed up. It is just not a very well-known fact, but it's well-documented, and well-established, and anyone that is serious, that makes an effort to do their due diligence, will find the validation they're looking for about who the hell was here when these people showed up. Now, they are living better than if you know their history and the suffering and torment and torture those people went through, not at the hands of autochthonous American, but at the hands of pale complexion people, many of whom were with the church, and a lot of so-called melanin-rich people in other places, but not necessarily here. They did suffer, and they were horrendously treated and very badly traumatized and abused. But we are not the ones that abused them. We are the ones that attempted to liberate them. However, they have never, ever, ever had it so damn good or lived as well as they are currently living now. My homie R.W. and Georgie, like, man, y'all, for these motherfuckers ain't never lived this good. They ain't never had it so good. When you comprehend what they came from and what they came to when they arrived in America, and what they have now in their fraudulent attempt at claiming our identity, nationality, and culture, and then turn around when we wake up and remember who we are and try to claim it back, telling us we the identity thieves, then you comprehend why. If you came from what they came from and you got over here in the land of the free and the home of the brave, so-called brave, and we are not brave anymore, which is crazy now, trying to get over it. But, we were when they showed up. Then you comprehend why they want to fight so cold to hold this false identity thievery that they've done when they took our identity and said that they are the first people and the real Americans here, and that they brought all of us over here from Africa. Well, the Human Genome Project, when they started doing their DNA collection and compiling their sample groups, they gathered 5 so-called tribes of real American people that they felt had little to no European contact, and determined that these are the people that, based on our observation, are the most pure blood, closest thing we can find to real Americans, and these are the first people here. They are not the people on the reservations because, for the most part, the majority of the people on the reservations are refusing to be tested. And they're refusing to be tested because they know who they are not. They know if they do DNA tests, it's going to, for the most part, come up European, Scotch, Irish, primarily Italian, some German. This is what they're going to find out. Some so-called Ashkenazi or whatever so-called Jew claiming to be a first people, so-called Native American Indian in America. It is known at the high echelons of the fabric of society that the people that are the real Americans are now called, what's left of them are called African American. Now, the so-called Pima Indians of Arizona are the only tribe or group in the whole of the Northern American hemisphere. They didn't test any tribes in Canada, tested one tribe in the whole of the United States, and one tribe only, and that is the Pima of Arizona. Now, for those of you that are just tuning in late that don't know what we're talking about, I have instructed my listeners or our listeners to go to my website at yaffabay.com, YAFFA, and that's 2 F's like Friday, BEY, B like Baker, EY.com, yaffabay.com. And it'll bring you up to the home page, and on the top right of recent posts, you will see Shunned Americans. I want you to click that link, and we're looking at a flyer that I just posted tonight. I didn't put any text or any other information, and this is clearly not all of the photos I would put, but I put these up within the last, between 8 and 8:03. I threw this flyer together and threw it up here. All right. Now, as I said, for those just tuning in, the photo at the very top, a copper-colored autochthonous American on an emblem of America. This individual has their bow and arrow and their feathers. That is what the people look like when these people showed up. This is a photo or portrait from 1798. The center left is an actual portrait of the real Pima of Arizona. I don't know who the hell they're talking to now. And you look at this and go, well, that's like a bunch of Africans to me. Really?
Sure do.
This is what they found here, people that looked like so-called Africans. This is what was in America when they showed up. This is a photograph from 1904 from the real Aboriginal autochthonous American Pima Indians of Arizona, and this is hanging in a museum in Missouri because the Pima, for whatever reason, probably ran out by the damn invaders, wound up down in Missouri. Probably went where their people were, where their relatives were, because we were all over the Americas. All right, so when you look at this photograph, not painting, not drawing, not portrait, but photograph from the year 1904 of the Pima Indians of Arizona, all you're going to see is a bunch of damn folks. And they don't look anything like the people that are currently identified as Pima in Arizona. There are some that are kind of mixed red and brown, but a lot of these people are just bleached out pale imposters. Real talk. To the right, center right, there is a photograph of a brother who was at the time, and this is from 1738. Let me see if I can make this any bigger. How do I make this bigger?
I can't see the date on there. 17 something.
Hold on, let me make it bigger so I can see it.
Yeah, 1738.
Okay. This cat was the supreme commander of the Yuchi Indian Nation, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And this is in 1738 in Georgia. This is look at, never mind the red paint on his face, look at that brother's neck, chest, hands, and thighs. This is what the original autochthons of America looked like. All these other people are full of shit. I'll tell them to their goddamn faces. Imposter, imposter, imposter. Telling my niggas, you niggas always trying to take somebody else's nationality, identity, and culture. You should be proud to be African. Ain't nobody ashamed of Africa. And a lot of our people do have African ancestry. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I need to get to this first. Because people are blowing my niggas out the water with this shit about y'all ain't no damn Americans, y'all. And you even got niggas. Y'all, we ain't no damn Americans. We ain't no damn Americans. We from Africa. Okay, well, you got shit fucked up. And I don't have a problem with Africa. It just is what it is. And I'm going to tell you how your Africa comes into play in a minute. But look at this cat here on the far right with the little red pants on his legs and the little red paint on his face. His neck, chest, hands, and thighs tell you who he is, okay? Now, this is a picture taken by a German cat named Philip von Reck, Philip Frederick von Reck. He took this portrait of this supreme commander, and I may be pronouncing Yuchi wrong, as Y-U-C-C-H-I or Y-U-C-H-I, but this is the commander, the supreme commander in 1738. And for those of you that have seen 30-second YouTube video footage of the St. Mary portrait of the Good Winds, it's called St. Mary, and it's S-T, abbreviation for Saint, S-T, Mary of the Good, that's G-O-O-D, Good Winds, W-I-N-D-S. Saint Mary of the Good Winds portrait was painted circa late 1400s, early 1500s, and it is the most accurate portrait ever painted of Columbus and the Indians he brought back to Spain with him. Go find that 30-second YouTube. Go to youtube.com and type in STMARYOSPODWINDS, and it'll come up. And you're going to have to watch it 3 times because it'll go by so quickly you'll miss it. they don't call those people African. They call them Indians. This is the most accurate portrait ever painted of Columbus, the great explorer, and the Indians he brought back with him. Now, this is done by a so-called white cat called Rick Steves. Rick Steves has a PBS show that comes on PBS regularly, and it's like a documentary, and it's called Rick Steves Europe, and that's STEVE''S. Rick Steves Europe, he does a show explaining to people that are going to come to visit Europe. Hey, if you're coming to Germany, check out these sites. If you're coming to France, check out these sites. If you're coming to Rome, you may want to check out this. If you're coming to Scotland or Ireland, check out this. So what he's saying is, if you ever come to Spain, to Seville in Spain, there is a cathedral that has the most accurate portrait ever painted of the great explorer Columbus and the Indians he brought back to Spain with him. He calls them Indians on Rick Steves Europe, goddamn PBS, public announcement about come check out these sites if you're ever coming to visit our Europe. And somebody that, I guess one of my listeners or whatever, that saw that and was like, oh, this must be what Yaffa talking about, caught that, and they threw that up as a 30-second YouTube just for that part only. So you can see. And all you're going to see is copper-colored bros with afros. Afros. Now, afro ain't a so-called race. It's a damn hairdo. Afro-American ain't a people. Afro is a hairstyle. So I wanted you guys to see these. Now, this last portrait, I gotta bring this one up because the writing on it is so small. And I really didn't have an opportunity. And I have lots of portraits like that, like this. Photographs, portraits of real American people. And I wish I could throw this Colombian picture up, because remember, they also tested the Colombians. Now, as we wake up and start looking for things, there are a lot of Jesuits and agents that go through and start pulling things down, trying to bury my niggas. Real talk.
Right.
So if you try to do a search on Google and whatever, and you want actual portraits or photos of the real Colombians and the real Mayans and the real Pima and the 5 real tribes that they tested, all you're going to find is these bleached out goddamn foreigners. It's like, y'all full of shit. So I have people that are on it. There are people that look like us, that do their due diligence, have their due diligence, and we have to remember when we find this stuff and we post it, we almost need to put where we got it, okay? Because we're going to need that kind of ammunition, because people are really trying to bury us. It ain't enough to throw up a portrait, because somebody could say, well, you know, you niggers are real talented. Any one of y'all could have painted that picture yesterday.
Exactly.
So we need to be able to show this came from so-and-so from the year such and such, and the so-and-so book back when. There's no great, none of our great nigga artists, and we got lots of them, painted this shit today or yesterday. And if we can't validate where, and I think it's real messed up that we have to prove who the hell we are when it's known at the top who the hell we are. It's the dimwits at the bottom that are clueless. And when you look and see what the real autochthonous Americans look like my homegirl, my aunt said, she said, sis, I think if these so-called pink people talking this shit, claiming to be us and whatever, saying we're liars, knew what the real Americans look like, I wonder if they'd be jumping up and down in such a hurry to claim that shit, for real. When you see photographs of the 1904 Pima, while people telling you, you niggas ain't no damn Americans, y'all ain't no damn Indians, this is what the Indians look like. No, homie, you need to go back further. This is what the motherfuckers look like. Are you claiming them as your people and your ancestors? Because that's what you're going to be saying, that these are the people you descended from. And if you ain't loud and proud trying to claim that you descended from these niggas here, don't be running around claiming that you know goddamn American, so-called Native American. I'm going to get into that, too, in a minute. I'm going to have to pull out a Black's Law Dictionary, and those of you that have one, you might want to scurry around and find it. But I'm trying to find this picture of these 3 so-called Indian chiefs at the bottom of this flyer that I just threw up real quickly on my website. And again, after this show, I might snatch it down, and anybody that wasn't here to see it just don't get to see it. I don't know. I have to figure that out. Depends on if I want to spend time doing the article or some kind of little write-up or blip to go with it. Because I'm just really, really overwhelmed.
I can help you with I can help you with the reading some of this too. I got to pull it up in front of me.
Oh, good. Can you tell our people who these three chiefs are? These three nigga chiefs, okay? Copper-colored and American, autochtons. What nation, so-called tribe? Because niggas are not tribal. Pink people are tribal. Our asses are nation and empirical. But what are they claiming these three tribes are from? If you can help me with that, because I'm trying to bring this up so I can click it and get it bigger than I have it on my site.
Okay, let me see. Here. Trying to get it big, too.
And this is a picture that my sister sent me, because she was looking at her dossier, or was it my dossier? I don't recall. And she
it was mine. It was mine because I was looking at the Pimas that had actually went into Missouri, because that's where the majority of my people, that's where the base of my people are in Missouri, that was able to trace back into the 1800s. And so I was looking to see all of the so-called Indians in that area, and that's how I ran across this photo. The one on the left, it says Missouri, let me see, Missouri Indianer, I think is what it says. INDIAN, I think it says ER, Indianer.
Let's call it Indiana. Let's call it Indiana.
Indiana, okay. So Missouri, Indiana is one on the left. The one in the middle is Otto, O-T-O, Indiana. And the one on
the Indiana. Mm-hmm.
Otto, okay. Help a sister out. And
it could be Otto, Otto, who gives a damn? The point is, these was niggas. My niggas, goddammit, these are my niggas.
Chocolate. Very chocolate.
Okay.
Way chocolate than me. Real talk. And the one on the right is Chief, what is this? It looks like it's D-E-R. And then the second part is like P-U-N-C-A-S. Or it may be, it's like Punkus or something like that is what I can make out on the name. Yes, P-U-N-C-A-S.
Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because people keep telling us we are not from here and that we're identity thieves and that we're goddamn liars, taking other people's nationality, identity, and culture. And my listeners have heard me say this before. It's the people that ran out of Europe or were run out of Europe or were kicked out of Europe that ran around the world, killing off autochtons everywhere they found them, and then stealing the resources, stealing the children, stealing whole tribes, and taking the damn nationality of the people they found, and then telling the people that they found that they were foreigners from somewhere else. They went from different places in Europe into South Africa, wearing out the Zulu warriors, and then telling the Zulu warriors some other shit about bringing them from somewhere else. Now you got these Europeans claim to be South Africans and have the real autochtons of South Africa living in goddamn what looks like little train cars or some shit. I don't know what these things are. They got housed in. Granted, that's not everybody, but the vast majority of the autochtons, particularly those that are not that interbred or hybridized, mixed-breeded, are left in vast, abject poverty, just like here and everywhere else. Okay? They went into Australia, damn near wiped out the autochtons of Australia. Now they're claiming to be Australian. They came over here into America. That same damn thing. South of the border claiming to be Mexicans. God damn it, you came over from Spain. All of them through the United States claim to be Native Americans, and you from somewhere in goddamn Europe. Up in goddamn Canada claim to be Canadians, and you're from some goddamn where in Europe. The only thing they found here was niggas. People were like, oh, what about the white-skinned ones? They didn't find no goddamn white-skinned ones. Now, I've read documents where they try to say that. There were none. People are like, that's not true, sister. That's not true. There were some who were like, no, if you found them, they were either highly inbred, which was for the most part a no-no in the Americas to inbreed, or there's some kind of mixed breed from the people that came over here, like, for example, the damn Cherokee. The Cherokee are a prime example of what I'm talking about. You have to know about Chief John Ross, R-O-S-S, like the singer Diana Ross, Chief John Ross. 7/8 Scott, 1/8 autochthonous American, wound up being, for the most part, a so-called damn white boy, chief over the niggas. And that is one of the reasons why the so-called Cherokee are so bleached out, because that's what they allowed in. More and more of their own people and their own damn $5 Indians trying to take our identity, so that when we woke up, it's like, you niggas is full of shit. I haven't seen cowboy and Indian movies. I know what Indians look like. I saw them on TV. No, you saw Italians on TV playing the role of Indians, and what you see on the reservation is the same shit. For the most part, Italians on the reservations playing the role of so-called Indians. Now, I was in Oakland, California the other day in attendance with former ex-cop, they like former, I like ex-cop, ex-attorney, Deborah Jones, in attendance at her class. And while I was there, one of my listeners that is a youth, he and his mom, they came by to see me, and his sister and brother, they came, before I got out there because I was on my way out. They waved goodbye when I was leaving, but they came over to visit at the place that I was posted at. And the young man was like, Sister Yaffa, I have a question, because I was getting ready to go, and they were like, well, the young man has a question for you. Hey, I always have time for any listener that has a question, especially a youngster, okay? He was like, I heard you say that we should not call ourselves Native American, and you basically said that the people on the reservations can have that, and I want to know why you say that. And I said, okay, no problem. Now, I know for a fact that the house I was, that they were talking to me in had law dictionaries and whatever, because I had seen them. I said, let me grab a Black's Law 6th edition and show you why. And hopefully, as I told you all to grab your dictionaries, you did so, and I need you to turn to the word Native, native. We're going to let them have it. True. By definition, it applies, but we're going to let them have it, because you have to start claiming what you want so that you can become what you claim. You don't claim what you don't want. You claim what you do want. So we're going to let these fools have Native Americans, since that's what they want to be, is what they identity thieving asses. Why they talk that shit to my niggas, you got me messed up. I've done my due diligence. Right. I know who we are, and I can sing it loud and proud about who we are.
Right. That's right.
So Native is the word native. And I'm turning in my Black's Law 6th edition to bring that up so that you can know why we're going to let them have it. Okay? Now, they're trying to take American. A bunch of Europeans are trying to claim that. People on the reservations are trying to take autochthonous American. But you mofos can't be autochthonous American. You cannot be, because your ancestors did not spring forth from this landmass. Now, granted, some of them, who the hell is calling me, knowing damn well I'm on the air? Hold on 1 second. Let me see what this is. Make sure it ain't a relative. Okay, whoever that is, I'm going to call them back. As long as it ain't my son, sister, somebody with a potential emergency, because the listeners going to always have to take back door to the bloodline. All right.
Right.
Native is on page 1025. On the far right column, approximately 1/3 down the page. Native. It does not say what it needs to say here, but it talks about a natural born, and that's a problem, subject or citizen, a citizen by birth, that's a problem, one who owes his domicile or citizenship to the fact of his birth within the country referred to. That's not so bad. The term may also include one born abroad if his parents were then citizens of the country and not permanently residing in foreign parts. Then they have a second paragraph that says the word natives, as used in Alien Enemy Act, refers to persons place of birth, so that a person remains a native of country of his birth, though he has moved away therefrom. Now, that doesn't say what you need to say, and I've told all of my listeners that when I look up a word, I look at all of the words above it and all the words below it that even remotely look close or sound like the word in question. You have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words to nativus. N-A-T-I-V like Victor U-S. And this is where you find out why we're going to let them have Native Americans. N-A-T-I-V-U-S says this is Latin, okay? N-A-T-I-V-E is English. N-A-T-I-V-U-S is Latin, but it is Latin. In Old English law, it is a native. So there you know, the word nativus and native are the same word, but the U.S. spelling is Latin and the E at the end is English. All right. In Old English law, a native. Now listen to what a native or nativus is. Especially one born into a condition of servitude, a born serf or villain. If you are native, that term in and of itself makes you one born into servitude, which means you are a slave. They can have Native American. We are trying to get out of this goddamn condition of servitudinal slavery. Now, that doesn't say a lot until you look up the word serf and villain. Now, if you go alphabetically, serf is going to come up before, S is going to come up before V. So let's go to serf, S-E-R, F like Frank. S-E-R, F like Frank. And I know you guys are tuning in going, I thought this was a news show. Empress T and I are both kind of burnt out trauma of our people, so I wanted to give you guys this kind of news tonight. I don't know what we're going to be doing next month, but today we're doing this kind of news. And I'm going somewhere with this. There's a method to my madness, and there's always something at the end of the light of Yaffa Bay Tunnel. Okay, so just hang on, and I'll tell you I'm taking you somewhere. All right. S-E-R-F is surf, and that is going to be on page, let me just make sure I'm on this right page here, S-E-R, page 1367. In the Black's Law 6th edition book. The left column to the right, and it is also approximately 1/3 down the page. It's entry number 1, 2, 3, 4. S-E-R-F. In the feudal polity, okay, and polity has a lot to do with cities and police. In the feudal polity, a class of persons whose social condition was servile. Remember, a nativus is one born into a condition of servitude, a serf or villain. This is what native means. One who has a social condition of being servile or in service like a servant or a goddamn slave. And who were bound to labor and perform onerous duties at the will of their lords. This is what a serf is, which is what a nativus is, which is what a native is.
A native here.
They differed from slaves only in that they were bound to their native soil. So, in other words, a slave is somebody that is really not at home, okay? A serf is somebody who is in a condition of servitude that is at home. Like my niggas, we are at home, okay? And we are in a type of servile condition, in a type of servitudinal slavery. And niggas will be like, I ain't no damn slavery. I'm going to get to that, too, in a minute to clarify that for you. All right. So if you are in your own landmass, at home, on your own damn land and soil, that is what distinguishes you as a serf from someone that is a slave. A slave, for the most part, is not on their land. They're from some other land somewhere else and either came to your land or were brought to your land, and they would be a slave, whereas because you are at home on your land but still in a servile condition of servitude, you would be classified more of a serf than a slave. Okay?
Right.
Now,
Got it.
goes on to say, instead of being the absolute property of a master, as long as you're on your own land, you can never be absolute property of someone. Okay? But you can be in a condition of servile servitude as a serf. Okay? If you're a slave from somewhere else, now you are absolute property of a master. That is one of the reasons why they had to tell the autochtons from here who are at home on their own damn landmass, on their own damn soil, in their own damn habitat, yo, niggas, we bought you niggas from somewhere. We bought y'all from Africa so we can make you slaves and make you total property of a master. Because if you know that you're not, that if you know you're at home and you are from here, you can never be property of anyone, but you can be forced into a condition of servitude as a serf, but never a slave if you are at home. That's why they want all my niggas to think, we bought you niggas from Africa. Y'all from Africa. Y'all ain't from here. Y'all ain't from here. We own you. No, you don't own my niggas. We are at home. This is our habitat. And you mofreaks came from somewhere else and enslaved us and oppressed us and subjugated us and nationalized us. Because to be nationalized means that your nation has been subjugated to a goddamn foreign one. All right, so now let's go to the word villain, which is spelled Villein. Okay? Again, these are what a native is. So granted, there's a certain amount of truth to it and a certain amount of non-truth to it. And at the end of the day, the objective is to be clear and know what you claim and why, know who you are and what, and know why you say what you say and why you do what you do. Okay? Now, when I was done showing this to the youngster, he was like, I'm like, you get like, Yaffa, I got it. You know, I said, so are you Native American? He's like, hell, he didn't curse because mom was there, but he's like, no, absolutely not. Okay? That's why I keep telling my people we are autochthonous American. Ties you to the land. The word autochthonous in and of itself, by definition, means sprung forth from the land, grew up out of the soil. You are connected and attached to part and parcel of the land when you are an autochthon. Niggas don't want to be it. I'm cool with it. You ain't got to be nothing. I'm just telling you what I found. Take it or leave it. All right. Villain.
Right.
Villain is on page 1,569 in the Black's Law 6th edition dictionary. And for those of you that are just tuning in, this is Wake the Hell Up Wednesday on Wednesday, October the 29th in the year 2014. And I'm clarifying some data for your thinking so you know why you do what you do, why you say what you say. All right. Villain. It's on the right-hand column of the page. Approximately a quarter of the way down from the top. Entry number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Villein. Now remember, this is one of the definitions of nativus. Remember, nativus, born into a condition of servitude, a villain or serf. Okay, so we looked up serf, and we got there from native, because native means nativus. Nativus means born into a condition of servitude, which is another way of saying slavery. You're only a slave if you're not on your land. If you are on your land, you would be a serf, not a slave. That's why they told us we weren't on our land, that we were foreigners brought here from somewhere else so they could make us a slave, which means the complete property or the absolute property of a master. But when you're on your land, you cannot be complete property of a master. You can only be subjugated by an oppressor. But villain, in feudal law, a person attached to a manor who was substantially in the condition of a slave, who performed the base and servile work upon the manor for the Lord, and was, in most respects, a subject of property belonging to him, and by him they mean the Lord of the manor. So this is why I am not jumping up and down with I'm Native American, I'm Native American. We so-called Native American because we have been oppressed and subjugated on our land, in our habitat, and put into a condition of somewhat servitude as a serf, okay? But this is what it's about. These people on the reservations can have that term. You can have it. But you are not us. You're imposters. Imposters, imposters, imposters. And for those of you that just tuned in, go to yaffabay.com, YAFFABEY, yaffabay.com, so you can see the flyer. Click on the right to where it says Shunned Americans. Click the link. There's nothing on that link except a little flyer that I threw up with 4 photographs of the autochtons. One from the 1700s, one from 1904, actually 2 from the 1700s, and I don't remember the year that the 3 brothers at the bottom were painted. But this is what real Americans, so-called Indians, so-called Native Americans look like when the Europeans showed up. And we still look like this. We still look like this.
Yep.
Even though a lot of us have gotten bleached up trying to be lighter than a brown paper bag. Now let's get into that. And I wasn't going to say anything about this publicly because I really wanted people to keep running with the dumb shit. Keep running with the dumb shit until enough of my niggas get their damn DNA done with 23andMe. And then I was going to let it out.
Before you get into the DNA, sis, let me do this real quick. Like sis said, this is Great to Hell Wednesday. And if you don't know who you're listening to, that is Dr. Yaffa Bay, that is dropping the science on us, and you also got myself, Empress T. I want to give you all a page that I found. If you're on Facebook, I think you'll find this page very interesting, and it totally ties into what she's talking about here tonight. And I haven't even given you this page yet, Dr. Yaffa, but I will email it to you so you'll have it in case you want to go over there. But it's called 1828 Definition of American. That's the name of the page on Facebook. 1828 Definition of American. I think you'll find that page very interesting because as you go down through the pictures, they have all of these pictures here. I'm telling y'all, when y'all see these pictures, you'll be like, oh, hell to no. I don't know if people are sending them pictures or if they're finding them somewhere, but these pictures they look just like us. They look just like us. You have one here where on the left side they have an 1850 portrait of a Choctaw Indian in New Orleans. And then on the right there's an actual picture. It says Chief Warhorse Chahita in New Orleans. They have another sister down here, an elder. I don't know if she's still amongst us or not, but an elder. It's an older picture of the. She's a Choctaw. Am I saying it right? Choctaw. She's a Choctaw Indian.
Well, you know,
they have
some people say Choctaw, but go ahead.
Choctaw. Okay, Choctaw or Choctaw. They have. I'm telling y'all, they have all these portraits, all of these actual pictures to show you different tribes, if you call, so-called tribes, different ones they have on this particular Facebook wall. So I just wanted to give you all that. For those of you who are on Facebook, if you're looking, I think it's a very nice page. I've been going through it, and you will get to see a lot of things that she's talking about. You'll get to actually see the pictures, the photos themselves. I guess people are sending in their great-grandmothers, their grandmothers who they know are so-called Indian, so-called Native Americans. And so, once again, that Facebook page is called 1828 Definition of American. Okay, that's my little commercial. I have another commercial later, but we'll go ahead and get off into the DNA. Just so you all know, we're talking about DNA. We're talking about, he's clarifying for us who are the niggas that was here. The very first ones that were here, where they call themselves coming over here and taking over the at the time America, taking it over. Who did they find here? They did not find the people that we know today as called the Indians. That's what the whole program is about, to show you and to tell you that, and again, she's going to get off into that, but I want to say this because this has been very life-changing for me, this information that Dr. Yaffa continues to share with me. And I said it to her just a few days ago. I said, I am so thankful that I, met her. She's been pouring information into me. I mean, this is better than anything I could think of. She's been helping me, and I really had to do a mind change because I'm one of those who was hollering, and again, nothing against Africa, because I know I have African blood in me, but the fact that I thought that all of my people came over here on a boat, I thought, and the sad part about it is that I grew up in a household where, and I was telling Dr. Yaffa this, I grew up in a household where my grandmothers, my aunts, all of them, I used to play in their hair all the time. They had these long, wavy hair down to their behind. I used to play in their hair all the time and ask them, why your hair look like that? Why my hair look like that? And they would tell me, they would say to me, oh, we're Indians. It just went over my head. I mean, you're a little child. You don't think anything of it because when you go to school, they tell you, no, you are. Back then, I think they called us black Americans or something like that, or Afro-American. I can't remember what they called us. They didn't call us. I don't think they called us African Americans then. I'm a little older. No. But whatever they called us, even when I was getting something at home, when I got out into the public with the school, whatever, the society says, no, this is what you are. And so that's what I grew up thinking I was. And so I wore that proudly, and not saying that I'm not proud to have African blood, but I am just as proud to find out that I also have, the blood of my people who were originally in this land. I ain't giving it up for nothing. You're not going to send me to no Africa because America is my home. And I know for a fact, done did the test, done did my research, still researching, by the way, but I am convinced, without a shadow of a doubt, who I am and where we are supposed to be. So go ahead, Dr. Yaffa, and thank you. Thank you for helping me to find that out.
Oh, you're welcome. I don't know that much, but I think that my niggas should know what I know. Now, they don't want it. It works for me. Shit, take it or leave it.
But you cause people to do it. But what happens is when people have to do their own, like you say, due diligence. The information that you gave me, I mean, you didn't tell me I know this, I know that. You said this is what I found, and so the part that you gave me, and a lot that you've given me, I've actually went to find out for myself. That's how I'm finding these pictures to send to you. It's like I am doing the research. So as you get the information that he's dropping you tonight, don't just sit there and go, okay, well, I know who I am because Dr. Yaffa said. Trust me, you can find information. Dr. Yaffa and
what she's going through. I'm serious.
You can find
through me and what I'm going through. Go ahead.
If you dig enough, you will find the information. I just happen to be, I don't know, I try to be careful with my words about Dr. Yaffa, but I don't know if it's called fortunate or whatever.
Or politically correct.
I'm glad that my family were concentrated in one area for many years, since, like I said, the 1800s. That made things easier for me to be able to locate a lot of my ancestors. So a lot of people don't have that same luxury, but you won't know that you have it until you get out there and try to find it. So now I'm done. Everybody says, shut up and let Dr. Yaffa talk. Go ahead, Dr. Yaffa.
Let me just say this, okay, like she just said, screw me and what I'm going through, screw me and what I'm talking about. It's not about, oh, yeah, I know this was Dr. Yaffa said so. That's not good enough. You hear me say it. That's only one modality of learning. You have to put your hands on the keyboards, pick up the book with your hands, flip and touch the pages yourself, type those keys yourself, and feel it to get it kinesthetically. That's another modality of learning. Then you have to see it with your own eyes for yourself, so that you acquire it visually, which is a completely different set of modality for learning. That's a different modality of learning. Then and only then, when you have it visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically, then you own it. It's yours. Nobody can ever take that from you without doing digging in your brain some kind of way and cutting something out. Because at the end of the day, when you've learned it visually, auditorily, and kinesthetically, also known as VAC, the three primary modalities of learning, it becomes yours forever, and it has nothing to do with Sister Yaffa, Dr. Yaffa. It's, man, I saw it myself. Screw you. I know it from, I saw it myself. Now, let's go to this whole thing of, before I get you down this tunnel, I got to take you somewhere else. I want you to open up a browser if you don't have one open already. Next to the Yaffa Bay picture, you can leave that up. And again, for those of you that tuned in late, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave that little poster up or delete the whole post at the end of this show. I haven't figured that out yet. However, so it's not a complete post. There's nothing there but a picture that doesn't really say much. But I had to hurry up and get something up so you guys could see something, so you could get something visual. Now I'm going to give you something else visual. I want you to log on to cdc.gov. That is the Center of Disease Control, not Center of Disease Prevention or Disease Eradication. It's the Center of Disease Control. I think after I got through talking enough shit out there, they threw "and prevention" on there because Yaffa was like, these motherfuckers ain't trying to get rid of disease. They're trying to be in control of it. So it's like, oh, yeah, it's the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Y'all late. Miss me. So it's cdc.gov/minority health. That's MINORITY. And let me see if I can bring it up. Let me see if I can just bring up cdc.gov and find a way to bring up, if there's like a link without me having to read all this extra crap to you. cdc.gov. Is there a link on this first home page? No. Suckers.
You look in the menu.
You got a menu. I'm up here. I'm trying to see if I can find a way for them to.
There's a menu. I don't know if what you're looking for is in the menu, but there's a drop-down menu.
I don't see a menu. Where do you see that?
It's on the right underneath the CDC. It says menu, then it says CDC AV.
Let me see more CDC topics. Oh, hell, we'll be forever in a damn day trying to find that. Let me see something. Let me just give you the whole link so you can just get right to it. It's cdc.gov/minority, which is spelled MINORITY, HEALTH, minority health, / and I'm probably going too fast, cdc.gov/minority health, / populations with an S, POPULA, and I can see right now this is one of the links. If I'm going to leave that, I'm going to have to stick this link over there. ULATIONS /REMP, and that's not a word that I'm familiar with. It's REMP. R like Reno, E like elephant, M like money, P like Peter. /black.html. Again, that's C. Girl, you better not be in that water, Miss Thang. CDC. Hey, what are you doing? Hey. What are you doing with those baby wipes? Bring those back. Don't play in those. CDC.gov /minority health /populations with an S, it's plural, /REMP, REMP, /black, BLACK.html. And it's going to bring up a demographics page.
Oh, wait, because I had the American Indian already plugged in there. Hold on, let me check this out for black.
No. I don't want to even go there. People go there on their own on another day.
Mine was already set. That's why I was saying I got to take it out.
Yeah, I think I email it to you because I showed you this. I showed everybody this.
No, this was something. Okay, I'm there now.
All right, for the people that are still trying to get up there, I'm going to say it one more again. CDC.gov, that's G-O-V like Victor, /minority health, all one word stuck together, That's MINORITYHEALTH which is plural, /REMP/BLACK. This is really a critical thing for you all to know.
HTML.
Okay?
Yeah, don't forget that HTML. And those of you who are in the chat room,
I thought I said .html. My bad. H like happy, T like Texas, M like money, L like Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you that are already there, just kind of be patient because some people are slower than others. Some people's browsers are slower. Their computers are slower. You know, they type something wrong. They feel like I'm going too fast, and they didn't hear what I said the first 3 times I said it. You know, so, you know, try to be a little more tolerant.
That's why I'm saying, if you're in the chat room, I just posted it there, so if you still don't get it, just log into the chat room and you can see the link there.
Thank you, sis. Now, that's what I'm talking about. See?
I got
log on to the show, and thank you so much.
No problem,
now,
sis.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes here of why I have you at this site. Black or African American populations. So people want to know, you know, Yaffa, you always saying we ain't black. You need to, like Empress T was saying earlier, somebody was telling me, you need to be proud to be black. Well, my listeners already know. BLACK means bleached up and pale. I'm not bleached or pale. Granted, there are a lot of so-called black folks that have become bleached and pale, trying to be lighter than a brown paper bag, trying to have what they call pretty babies with light eyes and good hair and whatever the hell kind of self-hatred shit you own. And it is what it is. I ain't mad at you. I understand our damage. We're damaged, and I get it. But I need you to look at, there's a photograph of a brother in a black hat, black suit, 3 women to the right of him with white attire and hats on, and a little girl being held by one, a dude to the right of females walking what looks like a little doggy. Okay? Right below there are 2 paragraphs. The first paragraph starts, African Americans have a long history. Skip that one, go to the next one. I'm trying to get to the meat and potatoes. Listen carefully to this here. Blacks or African Americans are people having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. I'm silent for a reason. And I'm going to say it one more again. African Americans are people having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Now listen very carefully to this right here. The black or African American population includes people who marked their race or races as black, African American, or Negro, or such entries as African American, Sub-Saharan African, for example, Kenyan and Nigerian, or Afro-Caribbean, such as Haitian and Jamaican, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. I'm going to say this again. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, you are considered black or African American because you marked that box on a race form yourself. And that doesn't seem like much, but it's very, very important. Now, let me see if I can find this other thing, because if I'd have had time, I'd have did put this, because, you know, people kept calling, and man, good God. All right, let me see if I can find this form. Where did I find this form before? Let me see something. Give me a minute. Bear with me a minute here, because if I can't find it, it won't help. If I can find it, I can give you guys a link, because you're going to have to see it if you've never seen it. And I thought everyone had seen it, and I believe everyone had, but I think for whatever reason, a lot of people had missed it, okay? I need you to, because this form is not going to be a super easy form for me to bring up. If you Google search this term, ethnicity and race identification form, ETH, Google search it, Dogpile, Ask Jeeves, Start Page, DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo, whatever your search engine is, type in ethnicity, which is spelled ETHNICITY, ethnicity and race identification. And somewhere in the list of input form, ethnicity and race identification form, somewhere you should get a link that will come up to a website called USAID.gov. Okay? Click in ethnicity and race identification forms on USAID.gov, and it'll bring up a downloadable PDF. And sis, if you can get to that link and throw it in the chat room for me, that would be great also. Okay, are you guys still there? I must have got dropped. It's gotten awfully quiet. Damn it. Shit, did my Bluetooth die? Hold on, I think my Bluetooth might have died or something. I don't hear a damn word. No, my Bluetooth is on. I don't hear anything. Hello? Hey. Looks like I'm still here. I'm going to hang up. Is anybody there? What the hell? Oh, you can hear me? You can hear me now, sis? Yes? Or you could hear me a minute ago before I hung up. Can you hear me at this exact moment? Somebody's texting me saying we can hear you, so let me text her back. Because I don't hear squat, so maybe T is gone. And I hung up, so I don't think you can hear me at all. Is anybody out there at all? Can you all hear me at all? Anybody? Man, see, this is what I don't like. They get trying to do some stuff that's deep, trying to give people real importance and significant clarity, and you wind up with this shit going on. Hello? Let's see if I can text T. It's like, where are you? Come on, sis. Where are you? I don't hear a word. Is anybody there? We have this total silence here, and this is starting to really bite me. Hello? Okay, well, that's good to know that somebody can hear me. Since I'm getting a text letting me know that I can be heard at this very moment, I'm going to keep going. I don't know what happened to Empress T. Thank you for responding. All right. Yes. Thank you all.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Apparently, people can hear me all along. I hung up, called back. I thought it was my stuff.
Let me tell you, I got kicked out like 2 or 3 times, and I was trying to get back in this whole time.
Okay, I thought it was me. My bad.
No.
Mercury is in retrograde, sis. It's crazy. Communication problems. Mercury's in retrograde. All right.
I apologize, everybody.
Well, I apologize. I'm screaming, fussing, cursing over here thinking it's time to get rid of booze. I'm ready to blame it on booze. Anyhow, did you find, well, no, you were trying to get in. You didn't even get this. I'm going to presume that all of you have got this form up on your screen at ethnicity, and it's an ethnicity and race identification form at a website called USAID.gov, USAID.gov. I want you to look at this form because we're going to look at this form and then we're going to go back to the CDC website. See, I'm not bringing y'all bullshit. I'm taking you out here where these people are with this band of crazy. So, because I'm tired of people calling me crazy. I'm not crazy. I know I've done my due diligence. Now, you need to see what I see So you can take it or leave it. On this form, this is a form that a lot of people fill out for employment. A lot of people fill it out for government assistance. Occasionally they'll have some little blip in a box when you're applying for driver's licenses and things of government documents and things, anything government related. All right. Now, they ask on question number 2, where it says racial category. Pay close attention to this, very close attention. American Indian or Alaska Native. A person having origins, hello, I'm on the phone. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of North and South America, including Central America, and who maintains tribal affiliation, or, this is important, or community attachment. Asian, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of the Far East, Southeast Asia, or the Indian subcontinent, including, for example, Cambodia, China, India, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippine Islands, Thailand, and Vietnam. Let's skip Black or African American and go down to Native American or other Pacific Islander. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Hawaii, Guam, Samoa, or other Pacific islands. White. And this is some bullshit because that ain't a people, but okay. White. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. And you'll notice all 4 of these categories, American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, and white, are all persons having origins in any of the original peoples somewhere. Black or African American, on the other hand, is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. So in other words, niggas ain't people. You're a part of some group. And people go, well, that's probably a good thing. No, legally that's not a damn good thing. And you're considered this because you yourself checked this box. Now, you will run into bullshit when you try to change it. This is why we're going over this stuff today, because this is news and I need to cover it. I've been doing this for a while. I haven't covered it all. Some of it I hadn't seen, and when I saw it, I started sharing it. So now I need to share it with the public. I couldn't find the legal definition of group in my Bouvier's, but I found the legal definition of group in the Black's Law 6th edition. And goddamn it, you don't want to be no goddamn group either. Okay? So let me turn to group in Black's Law 6th edition and give you the legal definition of group. And group is on page, oh, wait a minute, hold it. Group ain't in this book. What book did I find it in? Son of a gun. Found it in a law dictionary, but I don't recall which one. So I'm going to grab my 1828 because it's not in here. It may be in the 3rd, it may be in the 5th, but I don't have time because I gotta go through too much to get to those dictionaries. And it might have been in Bouvier's. I don't recall. Maybe I found it in Bouvier's and not in Black's. Let me grab the Bouvier's real quickly because it is right here. Some of these other dictionaries, I got to go digging for them, and we are on air, and we only got, 30 minutes left for the show, run out of time. And lost a good few minutes with me out there hollering, hey, is anybody there? All right. Let me look in this Bouvier's real quickly and see if group, oh, son of a gun, wrong book. Screw it. I got to go through too much to get to volume 2. This is volume 1, A through F. I might knock a bunch of books over trying to get to volume 2. We're going to bypass that. I'm going to grab groups out of my 1828 American Dictionary of the English Language by Noah Webster. And for those of you that have this book, you know this is not a numbered pages book. So I can't say, oh, it's on page so-and-so. You really just have to kind of find your page. But I will say, for those of you that have the 1828, it is on the left side of the when you have the book open, it's on the page on the left. The center of the book, there are 3 columns. It's the center column, approximately it's really the last 2 entries at the bottom of the center column. All right. Group. Italian gruppa, a knot, a bunch. Spanish gruppa, French gruppe. It is radically the same word as croup or crupper, which means rump or rear end. It's also a cluster or a grape. Remember, I kept telling my niggas, you're the true vine. All right. A cluster, a crowd, or a throng. An assemblage, either of persons or things. Now, that is the problem right there. That's the problem right there. One, they're making you persons, which you don't want to be persons. You want to be peoples. Even though all of these definitions use person, still want to be peoples. But it is an assemblage, and that was the legal definition in whichever one of these law dictionaries I found it in. Could have been Black's Third, Black's Fifth, Black's Sixth. Was not Black's Sixth, must have been Bouvier's. I don't remember which. But a group is an assemblage of persons or things. Everybody else is from original peoples of a landmass. We are racial groups of Africa. Not only racial groups, black racial groups of Africa. Well, black meaning bleached up and pale is a problem, and it's a lowercase b a problem, so it's all a problem. Now, things goes into res, like resident, R-E-S means thing, okay? An assemblage of persons is corporate. An assemblage of things is property. So every time you yourself, now let's go back to that CDC definition. Those individuals, the black or African American population includes people who mark their race as black or African American. You yourself check this shit. So they're like, well, if you want to keep calling yourself that, we'll leave that box there and let you keep checking it. According to the Census Bureau, you are that because you said so. Now, granted, there are scenarios where we were classified without our consent or assent. For example, way back in the day, they would send pink people into our communities to take the census. And they would look at you, and they had been instructed on how to mark and classify you. And I believe they were told anything but American, and you know, they ain't American, they ain't Indians, you know, make them blacks and mulattoes, Negroes. Actually, it was Negroes and mulattoes back then. We weren't even black back then. We were Negro or mulatto then.
Right.
Okay, that starts taking you off your land so that you can go from being a subjugated serf at home to being a foreign slave from somewhere else. All right, so they would do the census, and they wouldn't ask you your ethnicity. They would mark it. By the time they let us start filling out our own census forms, we had already been, thanks to Walter Ashby Plecker and people like him, thoroughly conditioned to mark Negro or mulatto. Because when I was a child coming up, I do recall under race and nationality forms, American or Am-American used to be an option on the forms for you to check as your nationality. American was there. But I guess because the so-called Americans weren't checking it, they kept checking Negro and colored and stuff like that. They just took it off the form.
They got rid of it.
So it's not an option anymore because we, the real Americans, stopped claiming it, so they removed it, which was the intended result. All right, so now you come up to today. I have a homegirl that went and applied for a job with the government approximately 5 years ago, and she knew that she wasn't black because she had seen with her own eyes the definition of black, and she's brown like me, knew dang well she wasn't bleached up or pale, so she's like, I'm not checking that. So she checked Native American. Now, a Filipino chick on the other side of the counter, another damn foreigner, tells her, oh, you can't check that. She's like, well, why not? You can only check that if you have a tribal card and a tribal number. Bitch, please. It doesn't say that.
Right.
You know, you almost want to say, show me exactly where the hell it says that. And even if it does, since I know how to read, I already know. This is where you need to look up the definition of tribal, and this is where you need to look up the definition of affiliation. And you need to look up the definition of community and the definition of attachment. I'm trying to say, do you have that? And she's like, well, no. She's like, well, then you can't check that. Okay. Now, again, you only have so much clarity, so you can only stand your ground so far. When you have all the clarity you require, it's like, you need to go get your damn supervisor. We're going to have a real damn problem up in here. So at any rate, see, me, it wouldn't have worked on because I have more clarity. But at that time, she only had enough clarity to know she wasn't black. She didn't have enough, and she knew she was autochthonous American, but she didn't know how to shut this foreigner down about who the hell she is in her own damn habitat. So she went to check something else, and the woman told her she couldn't check that. Well, this ain't the Philippines. You're a foreigner here. She went to check something else. The broad told her she couldn't check that either. So then she checked white, and the bitch was like, okay, and took the form. So you got to know the games that people play, and you got to be clear on this stuff. So I'm saying that to say, yes, there are scenarios where we ourselves checked it, but it's because oftentimes we weren't even allowed to check what we wanted to check. And didn't you tell me, sis, about a scenario, or was it KJ, about a scenario where she went to the doctor and she checked Native American because she knows she's autochthon. She done her mama's DNA, okay? So she checked Native American because autochthonous American ain't there, and I probably need to write somebody trying to get that shit on the motherfucking form. But at any rate, Pink Broad told her, aren't you African American? Then wasn't she trying to tell her that she can't check that or some shit? KJ was like, I've had my mother. I've done my grandmother's DNA. I can check this. And the broad shut up and let her be.
She says you can't check that unless you have your DNA proof that's what you are. And KJ said, I just got through doing my grandmother, so I know for a fact that's what I am.
And you yourself spoke to somebody today, and they were like, well, aren't you African American? How come you don't want to check black?
I went through the same thing. They what they do is they trying to go by your look, not knowing the actual definition of what American really was or is, and they tried to go by your look and say, oh no, you're supposed to be African American, and I told her, because she asked me, I actually left my form blank when it came down to what I was. I left it blank. And she called me and asked me, why did you leave that blank? What do you want to put there? And that's how the conversation went. And I ended up putting down Native American on the form. So she had questions.
Yeah, you never want to leave it blank because they can go and fill it in behind you. But go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I left mine blank, but she did call me. She did call me because actually the form says, those, if you all pay attention to the form, some of those forms say that you don't have to actually answer that part of the question. So the form that I filled out said that you don't have to. So I left it blank. So she called me and said, you left this blank. You want me to fill it in for you? I'm like, well, since you're going to fill it in for me, this is what I want you to fill in. And so that took us into a whole other conversation about DNA and things like that, because she wanted to do it as well. But, yeah, we've already experienced that, where people do not want you to put anything else down there except for what they think you are.
Now, the problem with this is this gives them the option to say, well, you yourself check that. Well, your people are at the counters like Walter Ashby Plecker and them telling niggas what they can and cannot check. And Walter Ashby Plecker and his staff and several states that followed suit, and people like him would go behind you and put what the hell they wanted to put about who you were, again, denationalizing you or taking you away from your own damn habitat to make your ass a damn foreigner or a person or thing that could be owned solely and as absolute property by a damn master. You follow where I'm going? I'm coming back around now. I'm coming 360 back around to why I'm telling you guys this. So there are going to be scenarios where you try to change and clean up or correct the status, and you're going to run into people barring you every step of the way, and they're almost always, 99.9% of the time, they're going to be a damn foreigner here. And by foreigner, I mean so-called white people that are from Europe, because this ain't Europe, so-called Asians, this ain't Asia, so-called Filipinos, which are some type of there's always going to be some damn body else looking, snubbing down their nose at you in your goddamn house. All right, so now that you see this is what you need to comprehend about the DNA. And I wasn't going to ever say this publicly, or at least I wasn't going to say it until I thought enough of our people had done their DNA. But like Sis said, Yaffa, you started telling niggas at least 2 months ago to go get these DNA tests done. There's enough time. Niggas dragging their asses ain't your problem. You got to put it out, and you got to put it out. So I'm going to put it out.
That's right.
I was looking at these people tell Angela Bassett, and I'm an Angela Bassett fan, okay? Trust and believe, all right? What's this nigga's name? Henry Louis Gates, that asshole. That's what I said, Henry Louis fucking Gates. Excuse my language. But this dude is pissing me off when it comes to my niggas. I done watched him basically poo-poo Louis Gossett Jr., Tina Turner, Don Cheadle, Angela Bassett, and you making these people feel good about what you're doing. Some of them you making them feel like it's something wrong with. Ain't nothing wrong with my niggas and they ancestral stories. You got me messed up. All right.
Right.
This is the deal. I looked at this thing. I don't know how I came across it, but something about he was, they do these reruns. He was doing Angela Bassett. And I saw her results. It had some small number for Southeast Asian, had a small number for Native American. I believe it had something like 20% European and a higher number for Sub-Saharan African. Well, first of all, if you know what Sub-Saharan Africa is, a lot of the damn test groups that they consider sample groups that they compare you to aren't even in Sub-Saharan Africa. That's one. Two, if you know the truth about the Atlantic slave trade and how it wasn't so much them bringing slaves from Africa to here, but taking so-called slaves or captured, kidnapped persons from here to over there, that is what they do. It's like, okay, we know we took niggas from the Americas and dropped them over here, They took niggas and a bunch of niggas and dropped them in Liberia, so they going back to the niggas that are from here, that are in Africa now, and testing them. And said, oh, yeah, we traced you back to Africa. No, nigga, you trace me to some nigga from here that's in Africa now.
Right.
Don't even play with me.
Right.
You can fool everybody else with the shit. And a lot of them aren't even in what you call Sub-Saharan Africa. So the whole of Africa is suddenly Sub-Saharan. All they're saying is, well, it ain't North Africa and West Africa. Everything that ain't North Africa and West Africa, we consider Sub-Saharan. Well, Liberia ain't Sub-Saharan, but they have that as Sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, so understand that about the DNA. Now, they have in their sample group under the Human Genome Project that all these DNA testers, including 23andMe, are utilizing one nigga from Liberia. And I am telling you, they can take that one nigga from Liberia that was taken out of the Americas and dropped in Africa and compare all your asses to that nigga and find a DNA tie. And say, oh, all you niggas are Sub-Saharan African. It's the game they're playing. All right, now, follow this very be cognizantly aware of what I'm trying to tell you here right now about this whole game that they're playing with this DNA. If you have a cup of coffee, and I'm going back to Tina Turner, Angela Bassett, if you have a cup of coffee and then you add cream to it and then you add sugar to it, no matter how much cream and sugar you put in there, is it a cup of coffee with additives or is it a cup of cream and sugar? Now, hear me well.
A cup of coffee with additives.
Hello. Now, With Angela Bassett, she had this small number of Southeast Asian DNA and this small number of Native American DNA. So they had to be looking at speculative numbers for her to have something like 20% European. Come on now, don't play. And also, comprehend this, for those of you that have done this 23andMe DNA test. Have you noticed how when you look at your speculative numbers, they have this extremely high number for sub-Saharan African, a middle-of-the-road number for European, and a relatively small number for your Native American and Southeast Asian? Well, according to their scholars, so-called white scholars, the people tested as a sample group that they compare everybody else to are what they consider the closest thing you're going to get to pure blood Native Americans and Southeast Asians, which they say are the first peoples of America. They say these are representative of the first time is first in line. I'm going to say it again. First in time is first in line. On their website at 23andMe, they say your Native American numbers are going to be small because it goes at least 5 generations or more back in time. And I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm saying know how to read. And for those that don't read as well as me, I know how to read. I'm going to clarify it for you so you can tell these people talking that shit to you to go screw themselves. All right.
Right.
They said the numbers are smaller because it's older in time, at least 5 generations back. And that's also documented. The short markers in your DNA results that are small numbers is your oldest, most ancient DNA. That's what you were first. So, in the case of Angela Bassett, whatever that small number for Southeast Asian Native American was, that's what she was first. That is her oldest, most ancient DNA. That is her cup of coffee. The 20% European came along later. That was cream added into her DNA genetic bloodline at a later date. And the higher number for sub-Saharan African, that is the last thing that came over and got in her bloodline that was added into her damn DNA. So she was Native American, Southeast Asian first, which is first people of America. That's why the number is so small. The next largest number is the European. That's the cream that got poured into her Native American coffee. The largest number is the sub-Saharan African because the so-called African strain was the sugar that is the last thing that got put into her Native American cup of goddamn coffee. So, no, when your shit says I'm 86% sub-Saharan African, that doesn't mean, oh, you niggas are African because y'all are more African than anything. No, that means the African is the last thing that got in my bloodline. Now, why is it when you start off as speculative, you got these high-ass numbers, and I'm talking to those that have done this 23andMe test so you know what I'm talking about. Why is it this sub-Saharan number is so high in the speculative? European is middle of the road. That's recessive genetics, recessive DNA. Okay? But for whatever reason, when you go to standard, the numbers go almost in half. The numbers shrink. By the time you get down to conservative, you look up and have almost no sub-Saharan African, damn near no so-called Native American, Southeast Asian, but that European number stays strong, don't change hardly at all. What kind of bullshit y'all playing? Y'all must take me for a goddamn zip-ass fool. For real? That number should shrink like all these other goddamn numbers are shrinking. Don't play with me. That's you motherfuckers trying to stay in people's shit. It's okay. I don't have a problem with it. So, let's say you have people running around here today, they so damn proud of this DNA shit because they're reading the shit backward. For example, my homegirl T, I'm talking about you, her son has a coworker, he's so-called Filipino. He did his DNA test. He's like, yeah, my shit came back 50% Native American. Yeah, I'm Native American. I'm going to go get my money. And,
that's
you got people that are like they're saying the so-called Mexicans and the Filipinos and so are coming up with all this 50% and higher Native American ancestry. Well, when you go south of the border in so-called South America, Brazil, Colombia, Maya, which is now called Mexico. The real Americans are niggas. The real Americans were niggas. Niggas, my niggas, N-E-G-U-S. All right, so at the end of the day, people come from overseas. They go down into Brazil, into Colombia, and Mexico, and they hook up with these dark-skinned people. And you see a lot of these bleached-up-looking people that say they're Mexican, but you see photos of the weddings, and you see these elderly sisters running around. This is the grandmama, great-grandmama, abuela, who people are telling them they're African. Well, abuela is a real goddamn American. Hello. So if you have somebody that came over from Spain and hooked up with abuela, the sister in South America, and spit out a mixed-breed child who happens to be more bleached up in color and comes up talking about, oh, yeah, I'm 50% Native American, that shows the next question you want to ask these people is, really, how much sub-Saharan African did you have? And get that number and say, how much European did you have? When that European number is the smallest number, they're thinking, oh, I don't have that much European. I'm mostly Native American because I'm, only 2% European and or 5% European, and I'm 50% Native American. No, that little number that's European, that's what the fuck you were first. Hello, you were European first, and then any sub-Saharan African got in your bloodline if you got it. And that big so-called Native American number, that just means that you recently hooked up with a real goddamn autochton. Because the largest number is the last shit in your bloodline. That is the last thing added to the cup of coffee. The cup of coffee is the smallest number on your DNA chart. Whatever is the smallest number, smallest marker, that's what you were first. Whatever is the largest number, that's the last thing in. Got it? Got it. Let me break in, sis. I got 87% African. No, that's the last shit in. Go ahead, break in. Come on with it.
Let me break in, sis, because I can't believe 2 hours has already gone by. And you all know that the chat room will be closing down in 7 minutes. We do have several people who have their hands up, sis. I don't know if you want to take phone calls or not.
Yeah, we can take phone calls. Let me hang up and call you back. Because they'll be in front of my ass.
Okay, you go ahead and do that. I'm going to do a quick commercial. I'll go ahead and do a quick commercial. Okay, and so those of you who have your hands up, please, we're going to take your call in order that I see it and try to get all of you in here and get your questions. Please let your what you have to say, don't let it be long and drawn out because we don't have a lot of time here. I also want to direct you to, remember I told you I had a commercial for you later on. Well, this is the commercial. I would like to direct you all to something that I have been doing, working it out, within my company, and I'm actually putting together an ancestry book. I have a company that puts together ancestry books. So without me getting off into the big detail, because I will be doing a show about it to kind of break it down for you, let me give you the links, and you can go and check it out for yourself. It's griotbooks.com. G as in girl, R as in Robert, I-O, T as in Tom, books, B as in boy, O-O-K, S as in Sam, .com. Check it out. And like I said, I'm here to help because I've done my own DNA as well. I've also have done my own, family tree, looking up ancestry, things like that. So I can help you. So check that out and see if something that you can be interested in. Again, that's griotbooks.com. If you can't find that, then you can go under ancestryBooks.us. Ancestry Books, the letter R.us. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take some phone calls now. Again, y'all, we're going to be off the air in about 6 minutes, but those of you who are on the line right now, and I see it's 1 million of you. Wow, okay. But we're going to take as much phone calls as we can here and try to get your questions answered or whatever you have to say here. Let me see. We're going to start from the top here. Area code 254. I know that there was 434. Let me say this. I did cut you on and cut you off before. That's because I was asking you could you hear me, and you didn't answer me, so I figured you couldn't hear me, but I will be turning you back on in a second here. So let me go ahead and grab 254 first. Area code 254. Where are you calling from, and your first name, please, if you don't mind. 254. Okay. So we're going to put 254 back on hold because we don't have much time. We're not going to sit here. And those of you in the chat room, remember, if you are not on the line, you must call in now. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear the rest of the show. 646-716-7572 is the call-in number. Call in before the chat room closes down. Now, area code 434. Where are you calling from, and your first name, please, if you will.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, my sister.
Okay, this is Kimberly calling from Virginia. I'll talk quick. Thank you for taking the call. I had questions about the 23andMe kit. I wanted to know, is it really safe? Because I heard some information about some of the scientists being able to alter DNA. So is this like a mass movement to get all this DNA? And is it safe to put our real name in the kit order section?
Okay. Yes, they're tampering with the stuff. I can tell because now that I'm put out there for my people to see, they didn't have all the DNA they needed because my niggas don't trust them, so we weren't taking their tests. So I told my people to do it, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing they starting to monkey around with my niggas and their results. If they keep on, I'm gonna tell my niggas 23andMe can go screw themselves, and so the rest of these DNA companies in a minute. But yeah, they can mess with the stuff. That's why I didn't want to say anything about how to read it correctly, because I wanted them to keep messing with it till enough of my folks got the shit done, and I told them, okay, well, to sit that little number, that's what you were first. That's your ancient DNA results. While everybody's like, oh, you niggas, y'all ain't hardly no Native American. Unless you got at least 2%, that's considered some kind of calculable error or some shit they trying to say. But it's like, according to all our research, the first so-called Native American Indians were niggas, and y'all jumping up and down trying to be niggas. As much as you claim to hate niggas, you want to be us now? Yeah, it's all a game. It's all a scam. It's all a goddamn Ponzi scheme. We're going to use this damn Ponzi scheme to our advantage. Now, it's your call. From my people, I told them, the ones that are going to get the little complimentary, and I don't know how long it's going to be complimentary, dossier from me, that you need to get your DNA done in the name that the system has on file. Because according to the system, that's the name that they feel is their slave. You know, when you come along and you come up with a Dr. Yaffa Bey name, well, Dr. Yaffa Bey is not property of the system, not thought to be property of the system, not any kind of slave, doesn't have a birth certificate, so it wasn't declared dead on arrival, so it doesn't apply to Dr. Yaffa Bey. I have to do my DNA in the name that they think they own, because that's the name that I have to tie to this land. But it's up to you if you want to do that or not.
Okay, and if
now, people that officially change their name, then they can go with that. Huh?
If you change your name, and since my husband is incarcerated, with his father's DNA plus the son's DNA kind of clinch it for him?
Yeah, that's what he got. Where's his mom?
She's here too.
Okay, if you can swing the financial investment to do his dad and his mom, then by all means do. Because sometimes the mom is not as high in the number as the dad. The thing is you can prove that this is your mother. You can't always prove that this is your father. You're definitely your mother's baby, but you may or may not be your daddy's. You might be a maybe.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, before you go, I want to say something, too, because I took the DNA test as well, and I also was doing some research trying to find out if they had any write-ups or were people saying anything about these different companies, especially 23andMe, since everybody's kind of using it now. And I'm going to say this from my own point of view because I did take the test, and like Sis said, I believe that now that they're getting, it's become a trend. Anytime something becomes a trend, they start kind of altering it for, their way. But I can tell you this, I've seen online where there are some Europeans, if you will, I call them pink people.
22 hours.
Okay, thank you, McDaddy. There are some pink people who are actually having a fit They are on, if you go on YouTube, you will see that they are having a fit because they have taken the same thing, but they're coming back with zero DNA of the so-called Native American. And one guy was on there, and he was like, I know my family's Native American. These tests lie. What he did was he tested his mother first. He tested his mother. His mother came back with zero DNA for Native American. So then he went back and got another company and tested himself. He still came back zero Native American. So now he's upset because he says, oh, it's a scam, it's this and that, because I know for a fact. So he calls himself pulling out all these pictures of his grandmother and auntie, a great aunt. And I'm looking at these pictures like, he got to be freaking kidding me. They look like some Jewish woman over in, I mean, it was crazy. So I said that to say this. Even, they got their little scheme thing going on, but if you all can get in there and get it right now, because there are, several of us who are coming back with that in our blood. But people are really trying to get it now because they think they can come and get all that money. They just got through awarding the tribe in here in Arizona. I forget how much. It was so much I can't even remember the number. But they are awarding these, certain tribes this money. So everybody's trying to get this money. So what I'm saying to you is, it could be, I'm sure it is, some kind of something. But at the same time, hey, get it down before they start really doing some stuff with it. So that's all I have to say. Okay, thank you for calling.
Now, the problem with that, let me just say this, sis. The problem with this cat you're talking about, he's an individual that has so-called Native American Indian paperwork. He's officially an Indian on paper. He's not one by blood genetic, blood quantum. So these people are doing this because, go ahead.
I was just saying he did. This particular one I'm talking about, because there were several. So there might be some other, but this particular one I'm talking about, he didn't have anything. He had stories. He had stories and he had pictures. So this is what he provided as evidence, was these pictures of his people that look totally European. They look totally European. But he said because they had black hair that he knew that they were so-called Native American because their hair was black. That's what he said.
Well, they might have gotten in the bloodline. A lot of it, some of these people are about money. My niggas ain't trying to do it for money. We're tying to the land because this is our goddamn house, this is a goddamn habitat. And since the United States is in the process as a corporation of, as a bankrupt operation that is in the process of liquidating its assets, it considers U.S. citizens its assets. I'm trying to get my niggas to be toxinous to the land to not be a damn asset, but you are in your habitat at home. Tie yourself to the land by blood, quantum, and genetics, because assets can be disposed of at will of the corporation that's liquidating. That's the reason. Certain things I didn't want to say. It's enough for me to tell you niggas to do something. Just kind of follow along and know that I'm coming later with the whys. But you should know why. But I cannot and do not say everything on there. If you got a question about what I'm asking you, call me. Yo, Yaffa, why do you want us to give our DNA to these people? What's up with that? And I will tell you what's up with it. Certain things I didn't say on there. And if had it not been 2 months ago, I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying today.
Right.
Because I know there are some people that were serious when I said move on it, they moved on it. Those of you that didn't move on it, I don't know what to say. Because the more I talk, the more, like the sister said, the more they start tampering. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They're trying to make it where niggas are coming back 0, 0, 0, 0. It's like, don't even play with us. Again, like my homegirl, my aunt said, won't it be interesting to find out when it comes out, because you can only hold a lie back for so long. When it gets blown out, they can't hold the damn shit anymore. That the original autochthonous American first people, Aboriginal of the Americas were niggas. How many of these pink people are going to be jumping up and down trying to claim it when they find out what they're claiming?
Right.
Seriously?
Right.
They're claiming it because they're comparing to the people on the reservations who are foreigners. mostly Italian. And the reservations are Vatican holdings where they drop their Italians to steal our identity and get the money to funnel it back to Rome and shit like that, because that's who they are. The word reservation originally, the reservations were originally called Vatican. They were called agencies. Way back then, that meant Vatican holding. Okay? They were called agencies. The Vatican is in Rome, Italy. The Vatican is dropping a bunch of Italians on the reservations, claiming to be Indians, and they know they're not. That's why they are refusing to take the DNA, because most of them are Italian or German. There's some
That's what his
mama
looked like. Yes, that's what his mama looked like. That's what.
So when you understand it, then you get it.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Bring the caller in.
Yes, ma'am. 908. Area code 908. Where you calling from, please, and your first name. 908. Is that 9? Yeah, it is 90. Or yeah, it's 908. Going once, going twice. Okay. All right. Next caller is 919. Area code 919. Where you calling from? Your first name, if you want to. You don't have to give us your name if you don't want. Hi, PC.
Hi.
I just had a quick question. I got a theory about the blood quantum. Let me go back because I posted my question. Are they doing the blood quantum for the Pima Indians from more recent mixed ones or the ones from the 1700s?
They're utilizing the originals. Remember, the Human Genome Project went around the world and did the DNA, and 23andMe, by their own admission, they used the 5 tribes they used were considered the closest thing to pure blood, and these are so-called tribes that had little to no European contact, which means what? They're not going to have a bunch of European in their damn bloodline. So the ones they used had to be the autochthonous American niggas, but they ain't telling people that. They want everybody to think that these Indians are these people on these reservations, these foreigners that are identity thieves and imposters, these $5 Indians that paid to get on the doll's rolls so they could take our money, because all this is stuff they were supposed to be giving our people all along. So now that we're claiming foreigners, we get a trickle-down pee on me theory. We'll throw you a food stamp on you. We'll piss a little check on you as welfare and government assistance. You know, that's a trickle-down and pee on me theory. They're not giving us all the wealth they owe us because they extracted so much wealth out of here, so many of our people, so many of our resources, and the Vatican has become super wealthy at our expense and at the expense of autochthonous people all over the damn planet. And a lot of these damn Europeans, they've never had it so good. If you know what they came from, that blood drinking, that cannibalism, that baby raping and drunken orgies with animals and everything and everybody and all the damn incest, they never had it so good. So no, they use the real. They use the real Americans. That's why a lot of Europeans are coming up without it, and that's why our numbers are so small, because it's the most ancient. The people that are on the reservations today are being called Native Americans, but they're not. This is not their homeland. They're not even a serf in their habitat. They're foreigners in our habitat. Go ahead, though.
They did on top of that. You said they only tested 5 so-called tribes, so, I mean, that's also probably one of the main reasons why the number is small.
Exactly.
That's one. They only tested 100 people. 108 people.
I said that earlier. I said that earlier because I told Dr. Yaffa, I was like, because I was actually surprised that knowing that the Pima tribe was, a lot of them are concentrated here in Arizona, and I live in Arizona, but I'm not from Arizona. But I was very surprised to even see it showed up in my bloodline, and because I was looking for some, so-called Native American, but I was not looking for the Pima. But that's what that's what showed up, and that's what they tested. They tested the 5 tribes, like Dr. Yaffa said. So when you do that testing, you go and look And, you know, and she showed me how to read it, how to, you know, really, she broke it down. Dr. Yaffa really breaks it down. I mean, she breaks it down. She took me step by step on how to read it and everything, and to show that what they're testing. And they test more Europeans than anybody. They got a
actually more
Jews.
More Jews.
Yeah, the Jews. They got a whole shitload of them that they test, you know. But everybody else is like,
they
you know, they get a few here. Exactly. They get a few here, a few there, you know. But I'm actually happy with my results. So.
Well, that's good. Oh, one more question, and I get off the line. How many people came up besides the Pima Indians? What about the two in Brazil, one in Colombia, and the one in Mexico? Has anybody got like a strong concentration of that in the heartland, Americas? Because I know they did like a whole bunch of switcheroo through the slave trade, like they South America, North America, islands back and forth, and Africa and back and forth. So they did a whole bunch of, you know, back and forth of, you know, switching people up.
They didn't go back and forth. They took our people from here over there. They only took us back and forth around the Americas and her surrounding islands.
Did you find any Brazilian Native American so-called, or any other type? They tested the Maya of Mexico, I think 25 maybe. No, don't quote me exactly. They tested the Pima of Arizona, I believe maybe 25. They tested the Surui of Brazil. And I think was maybe 13. Don't quote me exactly because I could be off on these numbers. They tested the Caratiana of Brazil. They tested the Colombians, and those are like the so-called five tribes in the Pima. But all together, I think there was like 13 from one tribe, 24 from another, 25 from the others, and all together they wound up testing a total of 108 people because those are only pure bloods they could find. Mm-hmm. And the originals was niggas. So I submit to you that they found the original niggas, even though you're gonna be hard pressed to find the pictures of original people when you search for those people now. They're showing you all these mixed breeds or straight up foreigners, and they know what they're doing. They're trying to keep us in the dark, and they're trying to keep a lot of so-called white folks hostile about us. Go ahead. You know what some of those pictures may be locked up at? And it just came to my mind. The Congress Library, the library in Washington, D.C., something just tells me they have those pictures locked up in one of those basements somewhere. I don't know why. We got to get what we can get. Some of them are in libraries, university libraries, Harvard. For our people to go to Harvard and Yale, they need to go start snatching that shit up. But I'm telling you, they have pink people that will follow you around the goddamn library. My homegirl and I went to the law library one day, and one of my homeboys that lived across the street from Harvard, he went over there and he came up with all these great books about Pudding Lane and the cannibalism and the orgies and shit in Europe. And when he went back, a lot of them books couldn't be found because he wanted to check them out. But my homegirl and I went to the law library downtown in Los Angeles one day, and we were looking at some things. There was this pink boy, probably Jesuit or something to this effect. Every nigga that would come in that library, when they would leave, he would go to the table and take all the books they had been looking at and go check them out. We sat there, we watched this pink boy go behind. He didn't do that to anybody, but went behind every nigga that came in that law library and left and gathered up their goddamn books and went and checked that shit out. It's like, okay, either he's Jesuit or paid by the Jesuits. See what niggas are doing. Whoa. So when you find stuff, what do I tell my listeners? When you find something deep, get that shit off the internet. Don't be like, oh, I'll go get it tomorrow, because tomorrow that shit may not be there. You can come back in 5 minutes and it's not there. So when you find something, you need to pull it and its source. Get it offline, because there is no guarantee it will be online when you go back. Whether it's a YouTube, an article, a picture, an interview, or whatever, get it when you see it. Don't be just bookmark. Oh, yeah, I bookmarked it. Bookmark my ass. Don't bookmark shit. Get that shit off the screen. Get it off the line and onto your computer and on a flash drive in case they virus your computer one day. But go ahead. Right. I was gonna say too, those if, like me, I went back to my like I said, where everybody was concentrated at,
It's a small area, but even that small area, if you dig into their museum, they have original pictures there. They have pictures. That's where I found the picture that I gave Dr. Yaffa. I found it inside of their
Indians.
museum.
Was it a Missouri
Yes.
museum?
Yes.
They know them people that they messing with in Missouri right now about Michael Ferg. They know them, the real Americans. The people at the top of this party know they're my niggas that think they Africans in America are autochtons in America. They know who you are, and they know you don't. And they know some of us are waking up, and they trying to wipe niggas out before we wake up because they're like, these niggas might wake up and want their shit back. Because there are certain areas in this country that no Europeans were ever supposed to be on. They weren't supposed to be beyond a certain place. Real talk. That's also documented.
Well, the
so we got to kill them all.
already been conquered. I mean, since the empress, I guess she passed away, and I guess they took control of that. But I mean, I remember you telling everybody how like it was set up to where, by their legal standards, it should have never been seized by them, because just the way that guy from France came over, the way he locked it down, and they pretty much just ran to scare the people off the land and pretty much stole it that way. But
pretty much. Look into the proclamation. One of my listeners was telling me about it. It's called the Proclamation of 1763. They have something called the Proclamation Line. No Europeans were supposed to ever cross it. Everything that they call Indiana country or Indian territory that they stole with the Northwest Ordinance and the Southwest Ordinance, they're not supposed to be there. Everything that's Louisiana country that they now call the Louisiana Purchase, they're not supposed to be there. That was all reserved and set aside for the autochtons. There were certain places that they were supposed to be, and they got on some whole other shit. And when we helped them liberate them from their oppressors, they got white on our asses. And let these people that they were running from get this, screw the niggas mentality, and now they're screwed. We're all screwed because of them in this goddamn color game.
All right. Anything else, King, before we move on? Thank you so much for calling in. Okay, let me see. We have a couple more here on the line. Let me see. 254. I don't think we did you yet. Area code 254. Where are you calling from in your first name? Area code 254. 25425 is all I'm going to tell you. Okay. Let me go ahead and mark you out that you're not available. Some of you are just listening. If you're just listening, then do not press the number 1 because I think you want to come in and you really don't. So that's why I'm coming to your line. Let's try this one. I believe it's 240.
Hello,
240.
Yes,
I hear you. Hi.
Where are you calling from? Your first name, please.
Roanoke, and this is my opinion on the DNA. I think DNA is garbage. The oldest people on this landmass, see, the DNA thing, they're sampling Mongoloid Indian population. We are not Mongolian, so the oldest people on this land are Negroid. The DNA thing is going to stay away from DNA, get with genealogy, because you saying you trace your DNA to Pima. You got to have genealogy to prove that you descend or come from the Pima. We need to deal with genealogy. Most of us, we come from the South. We're from, our roots is from the southern part of the United States. We need to deal with racial reclassification. The DNA stuff is garbage. That's just my opinion, because
I agree, it is garbage. I said
that. We already said that.
Let me say this. They dismantled the indigenous people, so how could we have a DNA structure that's going to prove what tribes we come from when they trying to connect you to Africa? You see what I'm saying?
You don't have to prove what tribe you come from. You just need to prove you're tied to this land.
If you want to get anything in this country, you got to prove what tribe you descend from. You got to be able, because you can't just, you guess you do. I mean, you got to be able to prove genealogy.
Hold that thought. Have you heard the UN Conference on the Rights of Indigenous People? You have the right to self-determination. What does that mean? I have the right to determine for myself what the hell my tribe is. I can make one up if I fucking want to. Once I prove I'm tied to this land, I can say who the hell I am. That is proof that you're tied to the land.
I don't mess with DNA.
We actually said,
King,
I don't know
you don't
how long
have to.
you've been on.
So you can say you can't just say, well, I'm a Blackfoot. You gotta have the genealogy.
You can say I'm a autochthonous. That's good enough.
You need
I'm
to connect.
Autochthonous, Aborigines,
That's
Indigenous.
a good start. That's a good start to have the awareness.
We're not in disagreement, Ak. You must be a new listener. Every
No, I'm not
listener
a
of
new
mine
listener.
knows that, well, I have said the DNA
I'm just saying,
is
that's
a
good
goddamn
awareness
Ponzi
because-
scheme, so we are in agreement that it's crap. I agree.
But I want to say this. I want to say this, and I appreciate what you're doing because you guys is awakening. I'm just expressing my opinion. But another thing I find interesting is what's her name? Angela Bassett. They say she had Southeast Asian, ancestry. I know the
those were Negroes.
Yeah, the Negritos. Yeah, so that's because I heard they was the first people.
The original Native Americans was Negroes too. These new Native Americans, they're Mongols. You're right.
Yeah, they. Yeah, let me say
mostly they're mostly European.
A lot of them. You understand? The Spanish came here. A lot of these.
Italian.
Yeah, a lot of these people they Spaniards. A lot of these Hispanics
they're Italian.
They brung they people over here. They became Indian through fuckery. You see what I'm saying? So.
Exactly. People on the reservation look like Mexicans with long hair. We agree. We are not in disagreement with you.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the DNA.
We're going to use this Ponzi scheme to our advantage until they start messing with it to the point that I'm going to tell my niggas don't give them another damn dime.
I don't think DNA is going to help anybody find out because, like I said, who was they testing?
I disagree. I disagree with
that.
Who
are they testing?
But it's got to be 23andMe. Don't even mess with nobody else.
They're not
hold
testing.
On, King. Hold on for a minute. King, hold on
for a minute, King.
Hello?
No, let me talk.
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to let you talk if you want to. I'm hosting this. Do you mind? Okay, what I want to say to you before you continue is that I don't know how long you've been on listening to the show, but we have already been saying the DNA. We also said the genealogy. We didn't just say, go get your DNA. You're in home. You're home free. There you go. We never said that. So I wanted to clear that up because it sounded like you were coming like that's what we were saying.
I know for a fact the five populations that they sample are not Negro. They're Mongoloid.
Yeah, they were.
Now I'm not saying none of our people don't have any Mongoloid. They came over here and mixed in, but I'm saying that's not what we need to be looking at. You got to be going through, genealogy. I just think the DNA thing is. They're sampling Mongolians, so that's why you might have a Mexican or a Filipino because they're sampling other Asian people. They're not sampling no Negroid people because I'm talking about the indigenous people of the Southeast and different parts of this country. They were Negroid. Yeah. Are they sampling?
We know that the original
populations?
people here were phenotypically
I know,
Negroid
but
types.
are they sampling those populations?
They're not sampling any of the tribes in the United States except the damn Pima. They only sample one tribe in the whole of North America. That was the Pima. That's why I show. Man, homie, did you tune in late? I told my niggas to look at this website. There's a picture of the Pima on my website.
I know who the Pima is. I know up and
down. No, you don't. If you say your mama, brother.
1828 definition of American, that's my page. That's how I even got hit to the show, because she put this on my page. You think I know what I'm talking about?
Then what are you saying that there's Mongoloids? Did you see them niggas?
I know who the Pima is. I know who the Pima is. You know what I'm saying? These are not our people.
Are you the brother that has the page that I've been pushing out there tonight?
Look at them as niggas.
Okay, let me ask a question real quick. Are you the brother who is running the page, the one that I just got through a few times putting out there?
Yes, I am. Yes,
okay, cool. Okay, cool. Because I've already, like I said, I don't know if you heard it, but I've been telling everybody to go to your page because I think it's an awesome page and the work that you're doing over there on that page. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. We're sitting here. I think we're having this.
I'm not trying to come off. I'm just saying.
Listen.
You're not listening. You say a lot,
I will give you a
not
compliment. But I was trying to give you a compliment, but you on some other stuff. I'm trying to say that we're sitting here going back and forth about what we should or should not do. Yeah. What we're trying to do here is we're just trying to bring some clarity to what we have at our fingertips to use. We don't have everything that we have to use because of them messing with stuff. All we're saying is if the pink man is saying this is what you are, or they're putting information out there for you to use, try to get what you can use for your advantage, because after a while you're not going to be able to use anything for anything at all. We're not saying that go and do your DNA, and now that you do your DNA, you're in there. We're not saying that. I don't know if you heard me say I did my DNA, and I also did my research to where my family members were originally located in the 1800s. So there's more to it than just taking your DNA, doing a cotton swab.
Okay,
you cannot
let me ask you a question.
that.
Let me ask you a question. What area is your ancestors from?
Missouri.
She already said Missouri 2 or 3 times.
5 times.
The Pima are from Arizona, so how, you see what I'm saying?
We said it already too.
Hold that thought. Let me clarify something for you.
Missouri.
Hold that thought. Let me clarify something for you that you may or may not know, or maybe you forget about. When the Europeans came over here and found all these phenotypically Negroid American so-called Indians, they were traded all around the Americas, not to mention the fact that our people ran all around the Americas to get away from these baby-raping, blood-drinking, cannibal people-eating ass mofos. We was running all over the place. Niggas went from the north to the south, but you don't act like you know. You talking about, well, you ain't from there. People in America were all over the Americas.
A lot of my people, a lot of our people, a lot of the indigenous people of the Southeast were sold into the Caribbean, the islands.
And a lot of them ran to California and back, into Texas and back, into Louisiana and back. And
you know, if that works for you, that's good, but I'm just saying.
Into Canada and back, trying to get away from these crazy bastards. Don't forget that. You forgot it.
And they have some in Missouri, too, by the way.
Which means we're going to have ties all around the Americas, blood ties. All around the Americas. We were sold around the Americas, and we ran around the Americas, moving away from them people. The more they moved in, the more we moved away. And they kept following us, and we moved some more. And they follow us, and we move some more. And then they capture us and take us all kind of places.
I know extensively about Indian slavery and the Indian slave trade, and I know a lot of places Indians in it, but from west to east, I know a lot of Southeast Indians ended up in the Caribbean, and a lot of Caribbean Indians ended up in the Southeast. So I know
all over the Americas, and in Canada.
You probably come from the west, but I know majority of people that look like you and me, we originated from the Southeast. And
we might have originated there, but that doesn't mean we didn't wind up in California like a lot of niggas. Remember, a lot of niggas left the South and came west. A lot of niggas now leaving the West, going back to the South, going north, going south the border. We all over the place, been all over the place, been moving all over the place. These are all our people all over the place.
Exactly.
Remember? Don't forget that. Mm-hmm. You're forgetting a very key component about the scattering of the Americans. The scattering of the people. Some voluntarily moving away, and they were traded away. Don't forget that. So just because you may not be able to say you're from, hold up, homie, because we didn't let you do a lot of talking without any interruption, and you're not very good at listening. I don't have a problem with you. I saw your Facebook page. I'm with the sister. I think it's fabulous. I think it's great. But I also told people when we first started to go to my website at yaffabay.com, because I put a little flyer up with 4 pictures of the shunned Americans. It's like, these are Americans. These are the Pima, the original Pima. This is what they look like in 1904. Ain't nothing mongoloid about them niggas. I'm sorry. This emblem of America ain't nothing mongoloid about that nigga. This UC commander ain't nothing mongoloid about that brother. These 3 chiefs, these 3 commanders or chiefs at the bottom of the state ain't nothing mongoloid about them.
The Uchi are from the Southeast. They're not from.
That's great. We're not disagreeing.
I don't need a DNA test. I know who I come from. My grandmother, my grandfather was Indian. I know exactly where they come from.
But you know that.
Area and everything.
Know. Okay.
I don't need nobody to tell me that. What I did with the genealogy.
We thank you so much for calling in. We thank you for calling in, because right now we're not going to do a shouting match back and forth. We do thank you for calling
Let me
in.
clarify something
Okay.
for all my listeners that just heard what he had to say. It is up to you. If you claim that you are autochthonous or American on this landmass, the burden of proof is on you, the claimant. And somebody like the brother that just got off the air screaming and hollering about who he is, the pink motherfuckers with the guns in the back, they don't want to hear that shit. Yo, homie, where'd you prove it? Prove it. Well, I know who I am. Yeah, okay, well, prove it to me. If you cannot prove who you are, it is not enough to say, I know who I am, and the Americans from here, from there. I've seen Europeans that say, well, so what? First they were saying there wasn't no niggas here. Now they found out, oh, my God, there was nothing but niggas here. They turn around and say, well, so what? Even if there were niggas here, it don't mean it was you niggas. Okay, so prove it. Now let me tell you this about what the brother was saying about you got to prove it with genealogy. And all my listeners know about this brother. I know a brother that is proven without a shadow of a doubt on paper with blood records, death records, Rose records, Freedman papers, Indian by blood. He got the paper trail from all these goddamn Indian chiefs to his own ass. He went to the Choctaw with his genealogical proof and paperwork. Yo, y'all owe me my stuff. Y'all own my land. My people fathered your people, and we got absorbed into your people. And here's my proof. You know these pink people that claim to be Indians told him, oh, yeah, you know, you look African-American to me. Y'all always trying to take somebody else's identity. He like, dude, here's my birth record, my mother's birth record, my grandma. He showed the paper trail, and they was like, well, you still look African to me. We had y'all on the reservations as slaves. He's like, hold up, homie. Downstairs in this administrative building, in your lobby, you have my great whatever grandfather hanging on the goddamn wall in your goddamn Choctaw administrative building downstairs. I have shown you a paper trail from that nigga to me. Well, he looked like a pink motherfucker because he was the only one that was mixed breed. Everybody else was all straight up, typically Negroidal. So what he wound up telling them is, you know, y'all on some whole other stuff. This dude hanging on your wall, I have shown a blood trail, paper trail, genealogical trail from him to me. And if he is an Indian and he's my great whatever grandfather hanging on your wall, how the hell are you going to make me African? And what this brother is saying is, you know, DNA ain't enough. You need to have just your genealogy. Here's a brother that had his genealogy, and they basically poo-pooed his ass right out the damn door. Now, that didn't stop him. So my thing is you want to tie that to the definition of American, to the pictures of the autochtons that they found here, to what was documented, to definitions of Native, definitions of Negro, all that stuff that I'm putting in the dossier, and I don't know if I'm putting it on the website or not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, can't tell you. You're going to have to use that, your DNA, and all this stuff combined. You have to do like they do when they convict a nigga for a crime you didn't commit. They have no witness.
Exactly.
They have no weapon, no smoking gun. They have no video footage. They have no nothing, but your ass is getting locked up for life or getting a death penalty because they have a preponderance of evidence, which is a bunch of shit they throw together to make it look like this is what it is. And in their case, it ain't even the case. In our case, it is the case. So it's not genealogy alone. It ain't the definition of America from 1828 alone. It is not your DNA alone. It is not your proof of pictures of who was found here alone. It's not what they identified and described as the people they found here alone. You have to take all that shit, put all that stuff together as a preponderance of evidence, because you cannot stand alone on just your damn genealogy and screaming and hollering at people talking about, I know who I am, I know who I am, because the pink motherfucker with the guns and badges will say, prove it. And that is a maxim of law. It is up to you to prove your claim. It is not up to them to prove that you aren't who you say you are. It's up to you to prove that you are who you say you are.
Wow. He actually he hung up. That call actually got me. I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling sad right now because it's like we're all trying to figure this shit out. It's not like we're sitting here saying, oh, we got all the answers. No, we're trying to figure this shit out. To come and be emotional about it as he was, it's like, listen, if you was on the show at the beginning, you would have heard what we were saying. We are not telling you this is what you must do. We're telling you what you could do. Like the sis was just saying, you have to bring all this information together if you want to stand on what the hell you're talking about, because we cannot forget. They've been going through centuries and centuries and centuries of making sure that we don't know this information. They work really hard at it. That's why they'll tell you in a minute when you say, oh, I'm African, they say, take your ass back to Africa then. They love sending you back to Africa. But if you say, oh, no, I'm in America, or talk to them, they be like, oh, excuse me, how you that? You got some proof that you're that? How do you say you're that? So all we're saying is, for the umpteenth time, is that you take all of this stuff and you put it together. Sis did a beautiful dossier. I've seen hers. She's doing me one. Beautifully put together. All the information is there, easy for you to read and understand it, to break it down for yourself, so that you can not let somebody else come along and tell you, oh, no, if you're not from the west part of this country, you're not even in. What? Are you serious right now? We're from every inch of this planet. The only place we wasn't in, I'm thinking, is a freaking ass mountain, the Caucasus Mountains. That's like you and our stuff. But we are from every inch of this planet, and people have to understand that and quit thinking that you're concentrated in one little area like some freaking ass mice that's in the corner. Hell no, you're like roaches. You're all over the damn place. This is all we're trying to say. You know, the brother was yelling. He didn't give anybody a chance to try to explain to him. Like I said, I am fortunate than most people whose family actually has several generations in the same town. My people lived in the same town from what I can trace back since the 1800s. They did not move from that area. Easier for me to locate them because that's where they were all at. A lot of people don't have that privilege to be able to go in that one little concentrated space. Just like you said, oh, well, the Pima is from Arizona, they ain't even from Missouri. He didn't do his research because research shows you that the Pima, they went to Missouri. They migrated into Missouri. I did my research. I did my homework.
Real Pima. And they was Negroid.
The real Pima. They migrated into Missouri. That's what,
that's probably where they people
Missouri,
were.
That's where the museum showed you who was there. So, you know, instead of us getting all, you know, we don't need to be all emotional about it. Everybody's bringing a little bit to the table. What you have found out, what we have found out, because we're trying to figure this shit out. All of us have been tricked and hoodwinked and bamboozled. Not just one corner. All of us have been tricked. So let's just try to figure this thing out. Take the information that you got, use what you can use, throw back what you don't want to use, but by all means, do your homework. Please do your homework. We got some hands
up. What did I say?
Yaffa.
Don't even bring the hands in. What did I say? Don't believe nothing I say anyway. And didn't I say you take what you can use and discard the rest? He's got a great opinion. I agree with his opinion. DNA is some bullshit.
Yes.
We agree with that. Yep. We're just going to use the bullshit to our advantage. That's all the hell I'm saying until they get it to the point where it ain't even usable no more. Y'all can take your DNA and shove it like your history and shove it, and your archaeology and shove it, because y'all are full of shit. You're a bunch of liars, and it's all about the bullshit when it comes to my niggas. Talk about some ungrateful bastards. You came into our habitat. We tried to liberate your ass, and you handed our asses to us on a motherfucking platter and made us foreigners and took our identity, you ungrateful assholes. And I'm not mad at the brother. Clearly he hasn't heard enough of what we were saying. He might have tuned in late. Don't start me lying. Somebody might have said, hey, man, you need to listen to these sisters. They talk about your Facebook page. And he just tuned in late.
I posted on his wall. No, I went and posted it on the Facebook page, the 1828, because like I said, he has a very nice page there. So I posted it on his page and said, hey, look, y'all, we're talking about this right now. But he didn't hear the whole scope of it. He came in with his already on his mind saying that I know who I am and you don't know who you are, but I know. That's not even how we got to do this, y'all. We really have to not be so freaking ass emotional about it and try to figure this out, because we've all been duped. all of us
Real
have been
talk.
duped. We're trying to get
And
unduped.
you don't want to take a DNA
I
test.
don't know about y'all.
Cool. Don't take it.
Exactly. You don't spend your little $100. Don't spend your $100. That's all on you. But like I said, mine told me what I already had knew. So it's up to you whatever you want to do, and yours too. You don't have to do it. We're not making you do anything. You don't have to do it. All we're saying is, trust me, if they had any kind of way to wipe the so-called Native American out of your DNA, which they will, they're going to do it. So right now, while they're not doing it, get it done if you want to. That's all we're saying. We're not saying, that you have to do it and you can't, because a lot of them won't even probably accept it by itself anyway. You have to have that with a whole lot of other stuff to back it up. And this is all we're trying to say. I'm doing it for my children, not for no money, but I want the money, yeah. But I'm doing it for my babies because I want my babies to walk around here. I don't want them to walk around here and say, oh, I'm this, I'm that. And they don't even know who the hell they are. They just saying it because I told them that's what they were. I need for them to know for a fact who their ancestors are. And that's why, here's a shameless plug again, GriotBooks.com, GRIOTSBooks.com is where I'm helping people who want to put together their family ancestral history. And the website gives you a lot of tools for you to be able to research your family history, because I've done mine. I'm just trying to put it out there. Of course, the book costs money, but I'm just telling you there's a lot of free tools there that you can use to try to find who your people are the best that you can. That's all we're saying. Just try to help you. We ain't trying to be here to tell you what to do. It's not about that. You got to be satisfied with whatever you find out. I'm satisfied. Let me go ahead and grab this other caller, sis. Before we run out of time here, because,
they'll kick us off.
Asses off, yes. 618. 618, what do you call it? Tell me your first name, please.
That we agree on.
It's right. 618, are you there? Hello. Okay. I don't hear you, 618, so I'm going to put you back on hold. Maybe, did I say something that made you not want to say nothing? I don't know. Let me see. I don't think we did. I've been trying to mark these off. I have so many on here. I'm not going to be able to get to you all, for real. I'm sorry. But I think 257. 257, are you there? Oh, Peace King. Hello?
Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Yes, can you hear me? Okay.
Me?
This our last.
Yes,
this our last hello.
Yes,
hello.
you.
Are you there?
He's talking.
Okay.
Oh, hi. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm new. Like, this is my first time listening to the station, and I'm really intrigued. How are you queens doing tonight?
Marvelous.
Well,
How are
good.
you
Thank
today?
you. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good.
I was listening, and I just dialed in because I wanted to know the name of their proclamation. That's when I came in, and I was really interested in it. I wanted to know the name of the proclamation you guys were talking about.
The proclamation line that they were not supposed to cross because it was set aside and designated for the autochtons only.
Yes.
Let me get the actual year on it. Hold that thought. It is the proclamation of 1763. And it talks about the proclamation line that the foreigners were not supposed to cross. This is one of the many reasons why they keep treating us so badly. Because if we wake up, it's like, we might have to start relocating people because these niggas might want their stuff back. I'm not even talking about that because I ain't trying to.
I want to know
more. I think the so-called government has stuff set aside for us. I don't want to say certain things on air to minimize war and conflict. So these people, it'd be like in Palestine when Ariel Sharon was like, okay, we need you guys to vacate these houses for the Palestinians, and a lot of these motherfuckers tore the shit down, burned the shit down, started killing people because it's like, I don't leave my shit for them people. So it's like I always attempt to not put our people in harm's way. That's always my objective.
Yeah,
we're dealing with some crazy bastards, okay? But it's a proclamation of 1763 where they talk about the line that they were not supposed to cross.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it. All right,
Well,
you enjoy your night.
Thank you for calling. Harambe. Okay. Well, let me see. I'm going to grab one more here. 434. Let me see. I don't think I talked to you. 434. Did I talk to you yet? 434-373. Okay. Maybe so. Okay. Well,
are you choppy? Is it my phone? Because you sound real choppy, sis.
I do. Oh, don't give me the line. Don't give me the line up in here because my phone is. I don't know what's going on with the phone, but you want to go ahead and is there anything else that you want to bring to the people before we get out of here? Since mine is choppy now. I don't know.
You know, there were a couple of points I wanted to make when the brother was talking for the listeners, but you know he wouldn't let me say, so I kind of lost some of it. You know, because he was bringing up valid points that really needed to be addressed. But you know, when you bring up a valid point, you should let people address your point, especially when they are in agreement with you.
Right.
All of you guys that have been following us, you already know that the DNA is a Ponzi scheme. You already know that. I already told you, just like when we went so far as to say, how come all the other DNA results are shrinking, but this European shit manages to stand steady as much as their asses are genetically recessive? How in the hell is that possible? Ponzi scheme. It's a scheme. We're just going to use the term. Their history is a scheme. Their anthropology is a scheme. Everything they do is some kind of bullshit scam, especially when it comes to us. We already know this. We already know that. So I just wanted you guys to, one, let's get away from the horrendous nightmare stories of all the babies getting raped and all the brothers getting murdered and whatever. And I wanted to, you know, give you guys something else that was news and newsworthy without all the damn trauma. Because I can only take so much of it. I'm getting tired of hearing it, really. Because y'all know I don't listen to the news. I already know what's going on out there. I already know about the monster. That doesn't mean I want it in my face constantly. So there's more important things to deal with. Not that what's happening to the children and the brothers is not important. It is significant. But, there's one thing I want to share with you all before we get kicked off, and we're going to get kicked off in a damn minute. Son of a gun.
Sure is.
Man, real talk. There is I was looking for something else, and I came across this law. And one of the things that our people never seem to do is stand on international law. Now, for those of you that have gotten clear on your autochthonous attachment to the American landmass and country and know who you are, you have the UN Conference on the Rights of Indigenous People, and Congress has admitted that they're supposed to secure your ass. And that means all levels of the state and government are supposed to secure you when you can prove who you are. They know, but they want you to prove it. They want to know, do you know? Yeah, we know who you are, nigga. Do you know? Can you prove it? At least some level of give us a clue that you think you know, and then we can run with this. However, there is a particular law that is really, really interesting, and it's an international law, and I don't know how I came across it, but again, I was looking for something else and tripped across it. Are not what even if they don't think that they're autochthonous to this landmass, even if they think they're Africans in America, and it is called. Let me just find it here. And you need to go online and you need to find this law and you need to study this law, because I think the people in Missouri need to be trying to fall back on it if you just really want to know the truth about it. It is called the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide. Now listen carefully to this. This law went into effect in 1951, somewhere between 1940. They started it in 1948, but this is from 1951. Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide. And it says clearly that, listen carefully, complicity and or conspiracy to commit genocide on an individual or a set of individuals whose identity, is defined by physical characteristics like big lips, dark skin, nappy hair, or common country of nationality. Let's say you think you're here from Africa. That's a common country of nationality. Let's say you know you're here from America, also a common country of nationality, and you have these identifiable physical characteristics that get you hung up in what? Racial profiling, driving while black, this kind of shit. You qualify under this. Anytime somebody comes at you in any plan to destroy the personal security, the liberty, health, like breaking your wrists in handcuffs, for example, property or lives of individuals, like the police blowing you away like they did Michael Brown and the brother in New York over cigarettes, and all these brothers, Trayvon Martin, and the brothers that are getting killed every day, today, yesterday, tomorrow, that belong to such groups that can be identified by their physical characteristics via systematic patterns of coordinated acts. This shit is a punishable international crime. Article 2 and Article 3, the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide. So if you're autochthonous to the Americas and you know it, you qualify. And this is international law. If you are to Africa and you know it, or you think you're in here, brought from somewhere else as a slave, and you're foreign here, this applies to you. We need to start going after people for, remember Malcolm X said that. We need to start going after these fools at an international level. So the word is, and I don't know how true it is, you know, my homie Toriano, I think it was Toriano, I could be wrong, don't quote me. One of my homies was like, you know, the international community is waiting to come in here and tear these motherfuckers a new one, but niggas ain't woke yet. They still on some whole other stuff, don't know, don't want to know, and they can't come in and do anything without totally screwing people. And if they do come in here, everybody better be able to stand up and say who they are. And being black going to get you fucked up. Being white going to get you fucked up. Because those are not people.
Those are colors.
You better be able to say you're some kind of people that can tie to some kind of landmass. So that's all I want to say for now, because we're running out of time. But there's a lot more. So, you know, the brother, I hate that the call went so far south. But we lost a lot of time on that one that we could have been using constructively. Like the definition I gave my sister of native had Empress T fucked up in the dossier. The definition of native out of a Dictionary of American English on Historical Principle from 1942 is, number 1, an American Indian. Entry number 2, Native American. Entry number 5, a Negro. Now, granted, we talked about native being Nativus and a serf, but that is what happened to you. You became subjugated in your own damn land, and that's what made you a serf as opposed to being a slave. So they had to make you think you were a foreigner brought from somewhere else in order to consider you a slave, which is the total property or complete property in ownership of some master or lord, which did not happen to a serf that is so-called native or autochthonous to their own damn landmass and habitat. A nigger, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, 3rd edition from 2003, a nigger, a dark-skinned person of any origin. And listen carefully to this. In early U.S. use, it's usually with early reference to American Indians. So my niggers are Negroes and natives of America, autochthonous American Indians. God damn it. And that's all I got to say today. I'm done. Harambe.
Keeps on coming around to the same. It keeps coming around to the same thing. No matter how you slice it. Well, we got to get out of here, family. I hope that. I hope that I'm breaking up. Oh shoot,
breaking up big time. You choppy. I can't make it out.
Tell everybody good night. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to y'all in a month. Next time. Last Wednesday of the month. Thank you for joining us. Since you can't hear Empress T, Harambe, and do your due diligence. If you have questions, call me 213-928-6155. Good night.